to 48%, like super close. But it seems like supercomputers are leaning with Croatia and their experience. Don't forget that Croatia got to the final 4 years ago. They're a team that looked relatively comfortable in their group. They've still got some wonderful players as well at their disposal. We're not seeing like world-class players coming through, but there are some interesting youngsters that they have. So it's not that they're just completely aging and broken and irrelevant. Like, that's not the case. Croatia are actually kind of an interesting prospect. They could upset really anyone. Like, if they go on to face Brazil, they will be a challenge for Brazil. Brazil would be expected to get past Croatia, but it wouldn't be the easiest of games. So, yeah, I'm going to lean with Croatia here, but it's very close because Japan, wow, Japan have managed to beat Germany, and they've managed to beat Spain as well. So Japan have certainly turned up to this World Cup. Japan are really weird, though, because they also lost to Costa Rica. So you never know what version of Japan are going to show up. You don't know if it's going to be the version that is capable of beating these big sides, or if it's a version that's capable of losing to like the 31st ranked team in the world. And considering there's only 32 teams at this tournament, like, to lose to one of the weakest sides at this tournament is obviously a bit confusing. Like, they are very inconsistent, Japan. So we just don't know what to expect from them. So Japan are a very interesting team. They are a very interesting challenge. They've got very quick pace on the counter-attack. They're very comfortable in possession as well. Like, they don't like give the ball away loads of times. They're very comfortable at like passing it and building up play. They can attack teams that way, but their favored method from what we've seen is the counter-attack. And they love to just quickly use that pace and run at teams. But yeah, against Croatia, it's going to be very interesting. Like, Croatia might fall into that trap because Croatia, I expect to have more of the ball. I expect Croatia to be driving towards Japan, and I expect it to be a case that Japan are going to try and use that counter-attack. The prize is likely to be a match against Brazil. Obviously, later we're going to be watching Brazil versus South Korea. I think we all expect Brazil to get through that. Really, that should just be a showcase of Brazil and why they're regarded as the favourites for this tournament. So I am expecting Brazil to quite comfortably beat South Korea. So who do they play in the next round? Is it going to be Japan or is it going to be Croatia? So I think what we'll do is we'll put into the chat a poll and get your thoughts as to who you think is going to go through. This one I think could be close. This is close. I don't really know if Japan win, if that's an upset, to be honest. I sort of feel like if these two were in the same group, you would look at it and go, well, either of these could get through. It's really interesting. It might be either this or Morocco versus Spain. Maybe Portugal, Switzerland are, for me, the most interesting matches in this round. I suppose USA as well. I did fancy USA. I always thought Argentina would win. I always thought that Brazil would win. I always thought that France would win. I felt confident about England winning. The games that kind of stand out are the ones, to me, that were a little bit closer. USA against Netherlands, definitely. That one stood out. I thought USA could do it. Morocco, Spain, I suppose I feel good for Spain, but Morocco are tricky. Portugal, Switzerland, I feel good for Portugal, but because Switzerland are tricky. And then this one, I don't know. Out of every match, I just don't know which way this goes. I'm leaning Croatia because of the experience, but it's a really interesting game, you know. In the round of 16, this is a really interesting game. So we'll put a poll up and we'll get your thoughts. So who do you think progresses? Do you know what might be quite nice? If this is the first game to give us extra time and penalties, that might be quite nice. We haven't had any extra time and penalties yet, which this game could totally give us. Because we could totally get a draw here and then go to extra time and then venture to penalties. So this could be it. This could be it. I'm also, as I just said, I'll put this poll up. I'm super interested in tomorrow's games. I'll be honest. The game with Brazil later. It's not that I'm not interested in it. It's just I think Brazil have got it. I really do. I think Brazil are winning that. So I am expecting a win for Brazil later, and then tomorrow I think we could get an upset. I really do. I think Morocco could beat Spain. They've got some wonderful players, and they've took me by surprise. So they really have emerged as a bit of a surprise package. I don't know that Spain would have been expecting to face them. And Spain might take them lightly as well. I'm sure they are, of course, preparing for them. But I bet that they've got more than half an eye on getting through and potentially facing Portugal. Because Spain versus Portugal is quite the rivalry. Because obviously they're connected. And so it'd be very much like England-Wales or England-Scotland. So Spain-Portugal is like a sporting rivalry. And so they can see that that's coming if both of the teams win. So it wouldn't surprise me if they just momentarily take their eyes. You know, England ran that threat as well. England, there's been plenty of talk about England-France. And so, if the team had took their eyes off Senegal, if France had took their eyes off Poland, could have been an issue, could have been a problem. But they didn't. We managed to get through. But yeah, I mean, Spain and Portugal, they could do the same. They could overlook Morocco. They could overlook Switzerland and then find themselves going out of this tournament. Spain going out would be wonderful. Like, that would be in fact, both of them going out would be wonderful. If Morocco and Switzerland could both win tomorrow, that would be great. Because then the winner of England-France have got, dare I say, an easier team after that with either Morocco or Switzerland. There are, I suppose, no easy teams when you get to a semi-final of a World Cup because obviously the other team you face has had to go through quite a path themselves. But it's going to be a lot of fun this World Cup. I think we've got a lot of big teams that are spaced out, and it's going to be interesting to see what the semi-finals become. Before we jump into the chat, and I do want to jump into the chat, let's just have a little look, because we've just spoken about like what the path might be. Let's just have a look at the bracket at the moment. I haven't had a chance to update it, which I really wanted to. I wanted to update it last night. It's not the biggest problem because it's pretty much up to date. There's only the 4 matches that we've had results for now. So we know that the United States have got knocked out, unfortunately, to the Netherlands. We know that Australia got knocked out by Argentina. So we know that that's Netherlands against Argentina on the left-hand side. Over on the right-hand side, of course, we saw England go through. We saw France go through. So we saw that they're going to be facing each other. So that's the 2 quarterfinals at the top. What we're trying to sort out today is the bottom left. We're trying to sort out Japan, Croatia, and Brazil, South Korea, and they will face each other, of course, in the quarterfinals. And then tomorrow we do Morocco, Spain, and we do Portugal, Switzerland. So this is how the tournament is shaping up. This is how things are looking. So the winner of Argentina and Netherlands, the winner of that will play the winner of this Japan, Croatia, Brazil, South Korea little mini tournament that's happening at the moment. So this is how we're getting to the semi-finals, you see. And this is why, like, Portugal, Switzerland, Morocco, Spain is really interesting because they are on England's side of the draw. So if England do get past France, then our semi-final will be one of Morocco, Spain, Portugal, or Switzerland. Spain would be an absolute nightmare. That would be a nightmare. They're actually ranked as higher favourites than England. So are France, actually. Both France and Spain, I think, are 3 and 4 on the favourites list. I think they're like 3 and 4, whereas England are like ranked 5th. So it would be a nightmare to have to go up against France and then Spain and then probably Brazil or Argentina in the final. So, as I said, I always tend to look at things from an England perspective, just to see like how the tournament is panning out. But one of the things with this tournament, which is not always the case, but one of the things with this tournament is there is no easier path to the final. Sometimes you could be like where you play Poland, and then in the next round you've got Switzerland, and then in the semi-final you've got, I don't know, Morocco or something, and then you find yourself in the final. Like, sometimes there can be a little bit of an easier route. I mean, could you imagine if, like, France, Spain, Brazil, and Argentina had all been put into the same quarter? Like, if you take those massive teams and all put them into the same, like, little quarter, then obviously that would mean that, like, the rest would be weaker teams, and so you could then have a slightly easier path to the final. But with this World Cup, the teams are completely spread out. I mean, you've got Netherlands and Argentina at the top. You've got Brazil sort of on their own, but Croatia got to the final last time, so they're down at the bottom. Over in the bottom right, you've got Portugal, you've got Spain. Then up in the top right, you've got France, you've got England. So all these big teams are spread out this time around. So it's a very interesting World Cup. Very, very interesting World Cup. And this one, Japan and Croatia, I think out of all the games, I feel like that's the closest. Maybe the next closest might have been United States, Netherlands. And then the next closest after that might be Portugal, Switzerland. But this Japan-Croatia is one that I think is really intriguing, because I don't know that anyone's got a great read of it, and I don't know that anyone really quite knows how it's going to pan out. So, hello to everyone in the chat. Ramit said France, Brazil, Argentina, Portugal are top fours for FIFA World Cup 2022. I've not seen that. It might be different in each country, to be honest. But here, I've seen Brazil, Argentina, France, Spain, then England. So Brazil, Argentina, France, Spain, England. I think Portugal might have been next, but definitely they were below England. I don't think they've jumped above England now in the favourites, but I suppose it's different, isn't it, in each different country? We always say that. We always, whenever we go to a tournament, England are always one of the favourites in this country. And quite often the conversation is, do you think that's the case in other countries as well? Do you think they have England as one of the favourites in other countries? Probably not. It's probably just because there's so much money coming on to England to win here in the UK that's why they're favourites. But it's probably not the case anywhere else in the world. But I can tell you that things have gone up several levels since last night. My voice has gone down several levels, but the hype in this country has gone up several levels. Like all the front pages, back pages, main news on TV, everyone talking about that result last night for England. Just massive, just absolutely massive. It was absolutely everywhere. And I think the general consensus is one that people are pretty pleased with, pretty impressed with. I think for the neutral, it was not the most exciting game last night. I think for the neutral, it was a little bit flat at times. And actually, in the second half, there was a lot of game management. There was a lot of just passing the ball around. And really, it was just a bit dull at times, dare I say. But Bellingham really shone for those goals. Foden popping up with an assist, a couple of assists actually, and a goal himself, I believe. And then you've got like Saka getting in on the act. I think they said when Harry Kane scored, England had 8 different goal scorers at this tournament. I don't know what the record is. That would be an interesting record to know, like what team had, like how many different goal scorers did a team have? What's the record for the World Cup? Because to have 8 different goal scorers at the World Cup feels pretty special, to be honest. A lot of teams tend to rely on just a few forward players to like finish off their plays. So it might be a striker, it could be a wide forward, maybe there's a defender that does get a header and get the odd goal, but 8 is quite a lot in all fairness. So that's quite impressive. Shows that England have got goals all over the pitch, and anyone can like pop in with like the odd goal. So I feel a bit for Rashford. I'm sure he would wanted to have added to his total, of course. Mbappe is on 5 now and is looking pretty good to get the golden boot. I mean, obviously, if he doesn't score and goes out against England, then I would say chances are he doesn't get it. But he's looking pretty good for it. We looked before the tournament, and you need to get about 6 goals to get the Golden Boot, and he's on 5 now. So, yeah, he is sitting pretty at the top, and, he is one of the best in the world, and he is showing that. I don't know really who this... I mean, we won't know until the final. The final plays a massive part, of course. People don't really remember much about World Cups apart from the finals. Obviously, the odd goal, the odd game, and stuff like that. But I think if you say, "Oh, this was such and such tournament," then they likely won it. If you think about like 1970, a lot of people will think of Pele. If you think about 1966, a lot of people will think of, say, Jeff Hurst or Bobby Moore. Right? The person that is most remembered for a tournament tends to come from the team that wins it. So, whilst we're trying to figure out who will this tournament be remembered for, I feel like it'll probably most be remembered for someone that wins it in the final. So, like, if Mbappe gets France to the final, then this will be Mbappe's tournament. The reason why we're talking about this is because there's actually several people that could be remembered for this tournament. Like Bellingham is the talk of England right now. And so, if England go on to win this and Bellingham keeps putting in the performances that he's putting in, maybe this will be Bellingham's tournament. If France go on to win it, maybe it will be Mbappe's tournament because I'm guessing he wins the Golden Boot. If Argentina go on to win it, then it will be Messi's tournament. If Portugal go on to win it, then, of course, you'd have to think it'll be Ronaldo's tournament and it'll be remembered as his tournament. So, the conversation is like, whose tournament is this? And there's so many big players at this tournament. Messi trying to do it one last time. Ronaldo trying to do it one last time. Mbappe trying to win the Golden Boot. But really, there's only one player that tends to get remembered for a certain game, for a certain World Cup. And, for example, like I would say 98, that was France and Brazil in the final with Ronaldo falling ill. That's sort of like Zinedine Zidane's tournament, but like Ronaldo gets remembered as well. But all of it is to do with the final. So really, I think you've got to get to the final if you want to be the player of the tournament or the player that's remembered most. So, a bit early to try and figure out who that's going to be. William said, I am torn. France helped us gain our independence from England, but was also against us in World War II. Decisions. I don't think they were against you in World War II. France was on your side. France was on our side. Did you know that, yeah? You know that. So, no, France was with us in World War II, so that is fine. It's all right. France are just a bit arrogant, to be honest. Little bit arrogant, little bit too successful, and they keep taking all of our women because they're so sexy. So, for all of those reasons, that's why we hate France. WWE Hall of Famer Barry Windham is in ICU. Oh, that's bad. Obviously, that's got Bray connections, hasn't it? That's hopefully he's going to be all right. Did it say why, James? Did it say why? Paul, shout out to you. Jellyhead, the stream's not showing up. There's nothing I can do about it, but it's literally down to YouTube. It's not like a button I can press or anything I can do. I mean, I can... If I go to my homepage, it shows up for me, but actually getting it to send out a message or anything, it's a YouTube thing, so it won't... I mean, all I'll say is that I'm just pleased it did it for games that are bigger than this one. I mean, obviously the England game was absolutely brilliant. Great that so many people could join us for that. And so I would say tense. I suppose it was tense for the first half an hour. It wasn't really tense after that. But it was great that so many people were able to join us. And let me see if I can just send out some on maybe the community tab. See if that makes a difference. But yeah, it's frustrating. I wish there was like a button I could press and then it would like send out a notification or something, or let people know we're live. But sadly, it doesn't quite work that way. Excuse me for 1 second whilst I just see if I can send out this on the community tab just to let people know, for those that are interested in watching and joining us. Croatia, Japan versus Croatia. Japan versus Croatia. There we go. Boom. That'll do. I've sent that out on the community tab now, so not much more I can do. Al Jazeera, by the way, right, which is a news outlet. I don't know where from. I don't know if it's from the Arab world, but I don't know what country in particular. They have predicted the tournament using a supercomputer. Now, I don't know quite what that means. I don't know what it could be FIFA. I haven't got a clue, right? But they've managed to crunch the numbers. Don't know what that means. And they've worked out that Brazil are going to win this World Cup. So they've got Croatia winning. They give Croatia today a 62% chance of winning. They give Japan a 38% chance of winning. So close to 60-40 in favor of Croatia. They've given Brazil a 77% chance of winning later. So they've got Croatia and Brazil winning today. England, France. They've got France winning by 52%. 52%. England, 48%. So, they've got France getting through to the semi-final, where they will face Spain, and then they've got France beating Spain by 52%. So, France winning over England 52-48, and then France versus Spain 52-48. So that means that France get through this one side of the draw, and they've got Brazil getting through the other side. They've got Brazil beating Argentina in the semi-final, 58%-42. And then in the final, somehow they've worked out that Brazil have got a 59% chance against France, who they've got given 41%. So they've got Brazil winning this tournament. I don't know exactly how that was worked out, but they've got Brazil beating France in the final. William said, I was thinking Italy. Oh, okay. England have only beaten France once out of the last 8 matches, says Redemption. William says French soldiers sent to Italy because France was afraid of the Nazis. He suffered a serious heart attack on Friday. That's not good. They are from Doha in Qatar. I don't know what that means. Right, we are... how long have we got? We've got 36 minutes to go. 36 minutes to go until Japan versus Croatia. I fully understood that this was coming into it, a game that would have limited appeal. Because I think you've really got to be into the World Cup to really care about Japan versus Croatia. I mean, this is on a side of the draw that's not on England's side of the draw. Obviously, United States are out as well. This is, a team that is going to be facing Brazil further down the road. And honestly, a lot of people, myself included, are looking at this thinking, well, Brazil are going to win against whoever comes through here. The only thing I would say is that this has been a World Cup of shocks. This has been a World Cup that's been really hard to predict. This has been a World Cup that has provided surprises, and a couple of them surprises have come from Japan. Japan beat Spain, a weakened Spain. Japan beat Germany, not a weakened Germany, but a Germany on the first round of games. So Japan are a team that are capable of getting those upsets. And obviously, we should have the team news now because we are just over half an hour away from the game beginning. I don't think the team news at the bottom was totally confirmed because I did put it up just that little bit early. But let's have a look, see if I can change it over to the team news. That should be the team news up on screen. I don't know if anyone has got any Japanese or Croatian players in their fantasy teams. And actually, that's something else we can have a look at, is the fantasy game. And we can have a look and see what's happening there. So this is how things are looking for both sides. No Sosa by the looks of it. Sosa has been playing really well for Croatia, really cheap defender, and he is someone that has been a good little pickup in the fantasy game. I don't think I went for him this time, to be honest, but he is someone that I can definitely see some people going for. My fantasy thing in this round has not been brilliant, to be honest. I went with Trippier, and I was so caught up in England, I didn't get a chance to change Trippier. I didn't get a chance to change him over. So, dropped like a stone. I have down to 62nd. So, not going well for me at all in this fantasy game. Let's have a look, see what we can see in regards to the fantasy game. So, Will I Am and Brehem. It feels like those guys, the winner could come from one of those guys. Nelson up there as well. Lee and Joe joining the party. Let's have a look, see why Will I Am is doing so well. Messi as captain. Mbappe. Saka was a good pickup. Dumfries was a really good pickup. That's the kind of one where you do kick yourself for not having Mbappe as captain. I wouldn't worry about it because there's plenty of people that didn't go with Mbappe as captain. But Shaw as well, having Shaw at the back was clever. Should have done that. Shaw's always going to play, isn't he? Really, that's probably the wise decision because Shaw should always play at left back. So if you do want England represented, having Shaw was the smart thing to do. And actually, how interesting that we were just talking about Sosa. And looks like here that's exactly who Will I Am has gone for. So, I mean, it's just worth remembering that these things don't always go your way. There will be players that don't play. There will be players that underperform. But it's affecting everyone. Everyone's in the same boat for that. So, yeah, that's how our leader is looking here at the moment. And then we've got Briam, who captained Dumfries. Wow, captained Dumfries and managed to pick up 28 points. Has got Messi, has got Mbappe, has got Foden in the midfield. That's brave. I didn't expect to see someone captain Dumfries, but that's a good move, that is. That's a good move. And then we've got Lee. What's Lee done? So Lee has got Mbappe and Messi up front. Pulisic, captain. I would probably have recommended changing Pulisic. I mean, I suppose he's managed to get a few points out of him, but would have got more out of Messi or Mbappe. Would have got more out of Saka, actually. But I totally understand it's hard. It's really hard. If you captain someone and they do something and they get an assist or they get a goal or they get you some points somehow. I mean, I don't actually know how Pulisic managed to get those points. How did he score? Was it the assist? He managed to get an assist and he managed key pass points. So he got some key passes and he got an assist. So that's why he's picked up those points. So I can totally understand looking at that, thinking, well, I'll keep it at that because he's managed to get something and not knowing if Mbappe's going to score or if Messi's going to score or how the rest of it's going to go. I am exactly the same. But... sometimes you do have to gamble, don't you? Like, I wish I'd have gambled and I wish I'd have gone with Mbappe and took that gamble. I might start gambling, actually, as we get, deeper into the tournament. Now that I know that I'm quite far behind the leaders, I might have to start taking some risks. I'm quite risk-averse normally, so I might have to start taking some risks. Here's Nelson's team. Dumfries, Bellingham. I'm surprised Bellingham only got 6 points. Messi, Mbappe, Otamendi was a good pickup. That was a good pickup. So, that's how things are looking at the moment for the top part of the fantasy table. Don't forget to make your substitutions if you haven't done it already. Don't know if you've got Sosa, for example. I don't believe that he's playing. So you might want to look at that and actually change it over. Just have a look, see if Sosa is on the bench. Does he go by a different name, maybe? Let's have a look. Sosa, Croatia. Borna Sosa. Am I just not seeing him or something? No. I couldn't see him in the starting lineup. I couldn't see him on the subs bench. No. Oh, there he is. He's doubtful. He's potentially missing altogether. So I think James told me this the other day. You might be able to completely take him out of your team. And actually, if you do have Sosa, you might be able to like change him over right now for one of these other defenders that are starting. You might have time to do that. You might have a chance to do that. What I need to do is have a look, see if I need to do that. I'm going to have a look, see if I need to do that. Is he in my team? Oh, he is in my team. Oh my God, I need to do that. Right, okay. Let's see if I can change. Who do I change him over for? Oh my God. Lovren. Do I change him for Lovren? Juranovic. Do I go Juranovic? Oh my God. Have I got a chance to change him over? Let's transfer him out. Let's put in Juranovic. Add. Confirm. These players are unlocked. It'll be transferred immediately. Yes. Okay. Oof. Done it again, ain't I? Is Perisic playing? I've got Perisic as well. I didn't realise they had so many. But is Perisic playing? Perisic is playing. Okay, so Perisic is playing. I've got fun fact, I've got Juranovic, who just happens to be playing today. Got him in my fantasy team. Boom. Really pleased about that. So, that was a little panic. I didn't even realise I'd picked a couple of Croatian players. All of a sudden now this game has become a lot more important for me. So now I've got Juranovic and I've got Perisic to keep an eye on. So hopefully they can get lots of goals against the Japanese. Like hopefully both can get hat tricks. That would be nice. That would help me out a lot. That little trick, James, that has really helped. I've used that a couple of times now. Louis said Mbappe and Dumfries are carrying my fantasy team this week. I didn't have Dumfries. I was an idiot. I think I've really messed up. I should have gone Dumfries. I'm sure I'm not alone in that. But the one that I'm really kicking myself over, the one that I deserve to be doing bad at this game for, is what I've just done there, where I know someone's not in the starting lineup, so I've changed them over. Yeah, I should have done that with Trippier. I thought there was a chance that they were going to play 5 at the back and they would play Trippier and they would play him in that more advanced role. So I was like, why I didn't go Shaw, I don't know. I can't answer you that, right? I genuinely don't know. I think like Trippier can do like some set pieces sometimes, and I was just kind of thinking 5 at the back. But I was so lost in England last night. I was so lost in conversation. I was so lost in like, who do you think they're playing? What's the formation? Okay, he's gone with that. Oh, he's playing Henderson. Why do you think he's doing that? Is that 3 in midfield? Bit more leadership, a bit of steel in. I was so lost in those conversations. At no point did my brain go, you need to change your fantasy team, like your fantasy team. There's no Trippier. At no point did my brain do that. So I was just so lost in it all. So I deserve to be doing bad at this game because I could have changed him over for sure, and I would have got a few more points for doing that. So thankfully I've remembered here for Croatia, but even so, might not help me because there's every chance that Japan are going to score here. As a Malaysian, I want Japan and Korea to go through, says Easy99. Hello, mate. Easy99, hope you're well. Representing Asia, what is dangerous about Asian countries, especially Japan and Korea, is passion, discipline, and a never-give-up spirit. James said Sosa is out with illness. Get it changed, James. Get it changed. There's still time, James. Sosa is out with illness, which, as I said, is quite a surprise because he's only been like 3.5 million. He's been cheap. So he's not been like an expensive player. He's been a cheap player. He's been a good player to have. Getting someone from the Croatian defence has been working really well, actually. So he's been someone that's popped up with a fair few points for me. So I'm pleased that I was able to go and get. I don't know if Juranovic is going to provide much down the right. To be honest, I don't know. It might not provide any assists or anything, but if they can keep a clean sheet, I am now firmly behind Croatia. By the way, I need this to be a clean sheet, and I need Perisic to just go mental with goals. So hopefully that's going to save my blushes from my Trippier incident. Sosa will not be in the lineup because he's out with the ladies, says William Hensey. Oh, that's Sosa. What's he like? Spicy Sosa, they call him. I've got Juranovic as my captain, said Louis, on DraftKings, so a hat-trick would be beautiful. Victor said it's my birthday today. Happy birthday, Victor. Hope you're having a great day. I hope you're getting lots of presents and having lots of fun. We've got a fun day in the World Cup. We've got Japan, Croatia, which is going to be a close little game. And as we said, Brazil, Korea. I mean, you are right. Korea are going to bring passion. They're definitely going to bring that. They're going to bring fights. Like, it won't just be... it's not like Brazil are not even going to realize they've been in a match. Imagine if they go out, though. I haven't even, dared to dream. I haven't even, really considered that as an option. But imagine if Brazil go out. Imagine if Korea knock Brazil out. That would be amazing. All of a sudden, then, everyone's going to say, well, it's Argentina. Argentina are going to get to the final now. Imagine if they went out. There's got to be an upset at some point. I was worried last night. I thought it was going to be England. I thought England were going to get booted, but they didn't. And, it was a very controlled performance. Not for the first half an hour. And France will definitely be looking at that first half an hour, and they'll be feeling a lot more confident, I would say, after looking at the first half an hour. I think France know that once England get going, they're a problem. But the thing with England is you just have to stop them getting going. And that is something that the USA did very, very well. USA were fantastic at just stopping England from getting into a rhythm. Because honestly, if England had got that goal against USA, then a second, a third, there's a really good chance that it could have been the floodgates opening. And Senegal stopped England for about half an hour, but then the goal went in. And then, of course, the second before half-time, the third. And then, to be honest, I don't think England took their foot off the gas necessarily. But I think it was a different England that you saw compared to an England that would have needed to have got a goal. I think what you saw was... I don't think you can judge England so much on the last half an hour. Because I think if they needed to score, they could have scored. Rashford, we were looking, Grealish was out there working hard. Rashford was having a look. It would have been nice for England to have added, and it would have been nice for Rashford to have added to his goals. But it is what it is, I think the game was largely done. I think a lot of that intent had settled down. And I think partly it started to become about just don't concede for that final half an hour. So, yeah, England, when they do get going, can be devastating, can be great going forwards. But that defence is worrying, isn't it? A mistake at the back, you give that to Mbappe, he'll punish you. So the mistakes at the back, we've got to get rid of those. We need to find a way of getting going a bit quicker. Really don't want this to be 0-0 for a long time, but it could be. I think England fans are probably mentally preparing themselves to go home. I'm mentally preparing myself for Saturday to be the end of England's journey. I'm mentally getting ready for that. I am not... No one is talking about Spain or Portugal. No one is talking about the semi-finals. It is... Even the fans have got their sights firmly set on France. So I think this is a do-or-die moment, kill or be killed. This is where the team have to give everything. Everything. Whatever you've got, you chuck it out there. And then if you do get through, then the remains go forward to play Spain or Portugal or whoever. But it's going to be a game that, you have to give everything to get through. It's going to be a war. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be so good. It's going to be one of the biggest football matches that I've ever seen in my life. the biggest, I think, was the Euros final. For me personally, being an England fan, I would say that's the biggest game I've ever seen. I put that over clubs, you see. I put country over club all the time. So for me, like, Man United in a Champions League final is massive, but England in a Euro final is bigger for me. So I would say that England versus Italy last year is probably the biggest football game I think I've ever seen. And then I go, well, I can't say this one yet because it's still only quarterfinals. Obviously, England managed to get to the semi-final in 2018, so that is bigger. But this one feels so big. It's massive. It's absolutely massive. It's the game that we're not expected to win, but we're only just a little short. It's so close that it could be penalties. So that's on Saturday, and it is so juicy. So juicy. And England could do it. They could do it. It's funny, actually, because I watched ESPN last night, and the pundits on ESPN, they were saying that they expect England to do it. And there was a few French guys that were saying that they'll go with France, but the French guys were saying they're really worried. They're really worried about this one. They are not relishing playing England at all. At all. And that France are going to have to be at their very best to get past England. It's so weird being an England fan and hearing a team as good as France saying that they are not excited about playing England. England, like, I think has always been seen as a bit of a, back in the day, go back to like the, go back to the 2000s, for example. I know it was a golden generation, but it was a generation that really didn't achieve anything. I don't think that big teams were that worried about playing England. I think there was always other nations that those teams wanted to avoid. And so playing England, I don't know that it was as scary as it could be now. I mean, I feel like playing England now, all the big nations, England are like right up there with the best teams at this tournament. If you have a look at like France, Brazil, Argentina, England fit very naturally into that conversation. As an England fan, it's so exciting. I've waited my life for this. I've waited my life for England to go into a tournament as one of the genuine favourites and then actually get there and perform and actually do all right. I mean, 6 goals against Iran, 0-0 against USA is obviously the low point, if you will, but USA played so well. Then we bounced back from that with a 3-0 win over Wales. Now we go into a knockout game against the African champions, granted, who are missing a few players, and we beat them 3-0. And now we've got this big, juicy quarterfinal match against France. And, that's Saturday. God, that's going to be so big. I tried to get that stream set up last night, but it wasn't happening. I was really battling to stay awake last night. So thankfully, I've managed to get some sleep. I'm feeling pretty good. And we've got 2 games coming up with the next game, which is Japan-Croatia in 16 minutes' time. I hope Brazil wins their game, said Nadula. Victor says thank you. Yeah, happy birthday, buds. Lan said, I think France could win this World Cup. They could. You're absolutely right. Spencer said if there's going to be an upset, it'll be Morocco or Switzerland. Yep, those games tomorrow are really interesting. I'll be honest. I always like to be honest with you guys. I think that this is probably the game a lot of people are not interested in, right? I think that Japan and Croatia don't really have that star power, do they? You know, people will tune in to watch Argentina. People will tune in for USA because we've got a lot of people in our community that, are from America. People will tune in for Argentina because of Messi. People will tune in for England because full of Premier League players. And obviously we've got a lot of people from the UK, myself included. So people will tune in for that. People will tune in for France, current world champions, and Mbappe. People will tune in for Spain, one of the favourites, put 7 past Costa Rica. Really interesting game against Morocco as well. People will tune in for Portugal because of Ronaldo, and they're playing Switzerland. Really interesting game. People will tune in for Brazil. It's Brazil. But you look at Japan, Croatia, and I don't think people are that bothered, to be honest. I knew coming into this that this would be one of our quieter streams, and that's not why we do it. I mean, I want to watch every game, and I'm super excited about this game. I'm even more excited now that I know I've got a couple of fantasy players playing in it. So yeah, but even though this might not be like one of the more popular games, I think that this could still be a really interesting game because this is so close and it really could go either way. And as we said, there's every chance we get extra time and penalties in this one. And Japan are going to battle, they're going to work hard. Croatia are dogged and disciplined and technically gifted. Like, they're a really technical team. They're really good. I mean, like with Modric, for example, but they've got that bit of steel about them as well. They're not technical in the way that Spain are technical, but they still have that ability to play beautiful passes and to really rely on their skills. They're a skillful team. They're an underrated team, Croatia. They're an underrated team, but they are one of those sides that could go on to face Brazil and cause Brazil a lot of problems. A lot of problems. And you don't really expect that from somewhere like Croatia. But, yeah, as we said, they reached the final of the World Cup in 2018, and they managed to eliminate England on that journey. I actually don't know who they eliminated on their path. I don't know how difficult their path was. So I probably should have looked at that. But, yeah, they managed to make their way through and beat England in the semi-final. And then they fell well short against France in the final. But there's no shame in falling well short to 2018 France. I don't think there'd be much shame in falling short to a 2022 France either, to be honest. But obviously, we don't want to see that happen to England on Saturday. So, yeah, I agree. I think that this game's going to be interesting. I feel like Brazil are going to win later. But those games tomorrow, they are really, really interesting. Morocco, Spain. This is a Spanish side that we saw lose to Japan last game. So it's a side that can be beat. And they are taking on Morocco, who have got some good players. There's some good players. I mean, Ziyech has been brilliant at this tournament. And, they've got Hakimi. As I said, they've got talent in that side. It's just sometimes you do fall guilty, and I am very guilty, of looking at the country name, thinking about their history and, like, where they stand in the world rankings and sort of judging them a little on that. So for me, Morocco were a team I didn't know much about. I know some of the players, but they have been very impressive in this tournament. Spain have misfired a couple of times. I mean, obviously they looked great with their 7-0 win, but they've not always looked brilliant. Don't forget, they followed up that 7-0 win with a draw and then a loss. So Spain looked great in the 7-0 win, but that's their only win. So they are coming into this having finished second in their group, and now they are facing Morocco, who topped their group, won their group, and so it's an interesting game. It really is, and that's tomorrow. And then we've also got Portugal, Switzerland, and Switzerland. They're just one of those sides that have that ability to knock out the big nations. We always keep mentioning it, but it's always worth mentioning. They knocked out France at the Euros, Euro 2020. They knocked out France. So, and that was last year, obviously because of COVID. Euro 2020 happened in Euro 2021. So because of COVID, it got moved a year. And so we actually saw them knock France out just 12 months ago, just over 12 months, 15 months ago. We saw them achieve that. So always worth mentioning that Switzerland have got that ability to knock out a big nation. They had to go to penalties to do it, in all fairness, but they did it. And then in the next game, they played Spain, and then they went to penalties again. Only this time, they lost on penalties to Spain. So it shows that Switzerland are a dog of a team because they keep things tight and seemingly take their chances on penalties. They keep things tight. They quite happy to not score if it means they don't concede. Take things to extra time. Penalties looming. They'll take their chances on penalties. Against France, it worked. Against Spain, they went out. If they do the same here, they could knock out Portugal. Switzerland could knock out Portugal. And then, honestly, I don't know who gets through out of Morocco and Spain. And all of this is playing out on England's side of the draw. So tomorrow is going to be very tasty. I'm very excited for tomorrow. I completely agree. There could be upsets. There could be upsets tomorrow. Today, I don't know. Whoever goes through out of Japan and Croatia, I don't think that would be an upset. Massive upset if Brazil get knocked out, though, in the game afterwards. Massive upset. So we'll be watching that, but I feel pretty good for Brazil. James said, I'm more for Bruno and Dalot than for Portugal. F Ronaldo. The game said, let's go Croatia. Spencer said, we are due extra time penalties. I am surprised none of the first 4 games went to extra time. I was worried about that being England's. I was worried. Thankfully, that game didn't go to extra time. So far, the matches have been banger after banger after banger after banger, said Nadula. Peter said, will we see our friend VAR today? Maybe. I mean, VAR was definitely showing its face the last time we watched Japan with that ball. Didn't it? Cross the line. Really fun to see people kind of doing it at home. You know, putting it on their door frames and like showing you the different angles and everything. It's just fun. It's just fun that's the kind of thing that's happening at this World Cup. But yeah, will we see it today? Will there be something controversial? Maybe. Japan is my favourite underdog team from this World Cup. I hope they can get it done, says Redemption. Easy99 says, Cristiano Ronaldo has reportedly agreed a contract with Al Nassr for 2.5 years, worth 200 million a year. It'll start on the 1st of January. Reported by Spanish media, Marca, no further information. That is just mental, isn't it? That is mental. And the other thing as well is that he is just going to enjoy his football because the level of competition he's going to be playing against is just going to be so below his level that he is just going to, I mean, I don't know what it's going to do for his goals to game ratio. I have no idea. I have no idea how many goals he scores in a Saudi Arabian league. It's sort of like a video game, innit? It's sort of a bit like a video game. Like, what happens if I put Ronaldo into a non-league team? Like, how many goals do I get then? I don't know. I have no idea what happens if he goes there. He gets loads of money. He gets loads of goals. It'll be pretty fun to watch, to be honest. It'll be pretty fun to watch. Breaking news, Raheem Sterling has withdrawn for the World Cup due to getting his house broken into. Has he withdrawn? Or has he just gone home? So where are we with that? Is it just a case that he's left and gone home? Or is it a case that he has actually said, I'm not going to come back now? Do we know? Who have you got, Japan or Croatia? I am leaning to Croatia. I'm leaning Croatia. I've got 2 of their players in my fantasy team. I'm all for the fairy tale of Japan doing well, and I love Asuka, but I really need the fantasy points, to be honest. I really need the fantasy points. Retribution said, Lineker is a legend of world sport. I found out he kicked off the J League in '93. He was their stellar signing. I knew that he had played abroad for quite a few teams, but I didn't know that he'd been over in the J League. So I never knew that. Rage Kid said, time for a 0-0 penalty shootout. Andy said, but that's Ronaldo done with football. Yeah, in people's eyes, he'd be done. It'd be just about money now. It'd be about money, and it would be about just getting goals, just improving his goals. Because that would still be, at the end of your career, they say he played this many games, he scored this many goals. It would just boost those numbers, wouldn't it? Might as well go to America than Saudi, says Andy. Well, if the Americans all pay him $200 million a year, then he might have considered it. It's disrespectful to compare the Saudi league with non-league football, says Retribution. Um, I don't, I don't know. I don't know if that's disrespectful. Because like it wasn't like a comparison that I was making. I was saying like it's a bit. Well, I suppose it was a comparison, but it's a bit like a video game where you do that. Like I wouldn't ever think to put someone in a Saudi league. It's probably because I was thinking of like a fantasy manager game. So in my mind, I was thinking of like taking a player from like the Premier League or from abroad and putting them into my non-league team. But to be honest, I don't know if it is that disrespectful because I don't think the standard's very good. I couldn't even tell you what level Saudi Arabia compete at, like with their leagues. I think it's pretty low. I think it's. I agree. Like it's pretty much him walking away from football. James said, "I've been thinking we might have to play a back five with three centre backs against France and play counter attacking." Um, Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think there could be a back five. I think that you might want to double up on Mbappe. You might want to have Walker and also Trippier. I mean, if you've got Walker and Trippier over on that right hand side, then they could deal with Mbappe together because you might need to double up on him. So having a back five would give you that defensively. And then, of course, offensively, you've got that protection, but you've still got the likes of Trippier getting forwards, who I think would be quite the weapon. You could also go Alexander Arnold, but I don't know. I feel like you're going to need help. Walker's going to need help. Word is just gone home. The article never said withdrawn, so fingers crossed he will come back. Tall Paul said played for Krampus 8 in Japan. Retribution said, of course, it's disrespectful. It's a professional league with professional players. They're better than non-league footballers. Let's be real. I don't know. I'm being real. I'm being as real as you want me to be. I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know because some of those non-league sides are really good. You know, if you think about like the conference is a non-league side, but that has league teams that drop down into it. So I genuinely don't know. I have no idea sitting here and being completely honest. I have no idea where you would benchmark the Saudi League. You wouldn't benchmark it against the Premier League. You wouldn't benchmark it against the Championship. The Championship is a real tough battling league. It's a tough league. So I don't know. I don't know how far down you go. To be honest, I don't care. I don't care. Doesn't make any difference to me. If he goes to Saudi, he is not going there because of the football, is he? Let's be real. He's going there for he's going there for 200 million reasons a year. That's why he's going there. Legend Killer, shout out to you. Popping in to say hello, says Dort Knight. Hello. You're joining us at a good time. We are just about a minute away. We are a minute away from this one kicking off. There is Kramaric. 2 goals in 3 World Cup matches. Croatia are going to have a game plan for this. They're going to need a game plan for this because Japan, of course, are going to counter. And Croatia are going to need to be very aware of that counter. They're a very experienced side. They've faced lots of different challenges. So can they find a solution for this Japanese team? About to get kicked off. As soon as we do, we'll get the stats on screen. Right, here we go. Kramovic is going to be kicking us off. Boom. Right, Croatia are going from right to left. Japan are going from left to right. Japan are in blue. Croatia are in white and red. Ball in the middle, and Japan clear the ball. So the ball bouncing around middle of the park. And as we said, this should be interesting. I thought Ronaldo wanted to leave United because he wanted Champions League, says Torpal. I think, honestly, I think he was just wanting to get game time. I think it's like a case of just wanting to get game time. I think he just wanted to not be sitting on a bench, which I can understand, to be honest. You know, when you have been like one of the world's great players and you just want to play, you know. I think Champions League is something he wanted, but I don't think there's Champions League teams that are coming in for him, you know. I think that you have to play a certain way with Ronaldo. And I think it changes your whole kind of setup, really. And the amount of money it costs as well. We've spoken quite a bit about it. Like, you know, you're going to spend all of that money and all of those wages on bringing in a Ronaldo when you could go and get, like, better investment and better players, like, all round for your team. Ball played into the middle. Goes all the way across goal. So, free kick there. It's Japan that are driving forward, trying to play the ball in. It bounces off a Croatian defender, and it goes behind. Trini, hello. Hope you are well. Tharuka says this is going to be close. Yeah, we might as well get rid of the poll, actually. Have a bit more room in the chat. Let's end the poll. Right, Ito is taking this corner. Ito going to look to whip it in. Ball being played out, side-footed into the box. Oh, just wide. Just wide. I do love that Japanese shirt. This blue Japanese shirt looks classy. Ball is... Ball comes in and just goes wide. Croatia playing the ball back to their goalkeeper. They're trying to get out from the back, but Japan look battling, working, closing down the keeper. And it goes out. Maeda. Yeah, they're really battling, working. Look at that, closing down. Yeah, look at this. I'm happy for Saudi people. They get a legend of football to bring more attention to their product and improve the quality and standards. It's definitely one way to look at it. Japan's kits are arguably the best. They are nice, aren't they? They're really classy. They've got lots of little details on them. I do like clean shirts, like just plain shirts that look crisp and clean. I do like that. But I can go for a bit of detail. As long as the detail is classy. And it looks really good and adds to the shirt. There's plenty of shirts that have like details on. You're like, I'm not sure about that. But the Japanese ones, they seem to have really put a lot of thought and time and energy into it, and everything just looks really nice. Here's Croatia. Then they're in Japan's half. Ball being dinked forward into that Japanese defense. And cleared down the line. I think Croatia will beat Japan, says Joe. Tharuk said the Japan shirts look good. Legend Killer says, come on, Croatia. Dork Knight said Japan shirts are amazing, and they are the best shirts at this World Cup. I feel like I need to show them for those that haven't seen the Japanese shirts. Because I feel like we've been full of praise. So... Let's see if we can find the Japanese shirts. That I believe. I want to make sure I've got the right one. So Croatia have got the ball. Croatia have got it in their own half at the moment. I'm just trying to get a close-up of the Japan shirt, because I've got one here, and it looks like it's the right one, but... Ball going down the line. Yeah, it is. Here's Croatia on the edge of Japan's penalty area, but Japan win the ball. They're bringing it away. Croatia down that right-hand side, mopping it back up. That is the shirt they're wearing right now. It's really nice, isn't it? I don't know what those patterns are meant to represent. Normally, there's a bit of spiel that comes with these types of shirts. These, like, heavily detailed shirts. There tends to be, like, they tell you where the inspiration came from and everything. So I'm not too sure, but it is a lovely-looking shirt. It's really classy, and I really like the details. It's the kind of thing that I think would look really good just wearing out and about. There's some shirts like that you can just wear down the pub or something, just look really smart. Here they come forward down the right-hand side, Japan. Ito trying to find a through ball, but it bounces off the Croatian player. So quite a fun, explosive start, but no shots on target at the moment. There's Tomiyasu. Obviously, we know Tomiyasu from Arsenal. He's going to throw the ball in. It's just inside the Croatian half. Hooked into, tried to hook it into the middle, but it went up into the air. It's going to be another throw-in for Japan. I'm sure the pattern is part of the heritage, says Retribution. Matthew said, I guess England will win this World Cup. I think we're a little way off that, but we need to get past France first, and then we've got another 2 games. If England win their next 3 games, they win the World Cup. That's mental, innit? That's mental. If England get 3 wins in a row, they win the World Cup. 3 wins. The only problem is it's probably going to need to be France and then Spain and then Brazil. So that's the only problem. There is a Japanese fan. Here's Croatia managing to get the ball into the Japan box. And it's up in the air. Oh, there's a real scramble. And the keeper manages to get onto it. Wow, that was heart in the mouth stuff, Gonda gets the ball. So, long ball. It is a mistake by Tomiyasu. He makes a real error there. He seems to try to want to pass the ball to the side. He puts no power on it. It only just goes a little bit to the side. The Croatian player gets it, starts driving towards the goal, ends up taking a shot, but the ball, it finds its way in the middle. There's a real scramble, and that's a real warning sign for Japan. A real warning sign. Japan have got the ball over on the left-hand side, through ball, but no one able to get onto the end of it, and it finds its way all the way through to the keeper. You've only got to beat 3 of the best. That is easy peasy. I know. Don't even know what we're worrying about. It's coming home, innit? It's coming home. Just got to beat 3 of the very best teams in the world. 3 teams that are ranked ahead of us as in the favourite. I think actually might even be ranked ahead of us in the world rankings. So it is what it is. Be the champs. You got to beat the champs, and never has that been truer than on Saturday. Right, the ball is with Gonda. He's got it in his hands. Don't forget, 1 team goes through, 1 team goes home. Ball being kicked long down the field. No one there to pick it up. Comes over to the left-hand side. Karasic mopping it up. And Croatia have got the ball. They're looking to play it back to the goalkeeper. So keeper has it. He's going to look to, again, going long. We saw that work for them just where they went long and they went down that left-hand side. And it seems to be a strategy that they've got just to get it away from the goal, really. I think some of the Japanese pressing is being quite effective, and they're maybe trying to avoid this press. Yeah, look, already, look, boom. Right on, I think that was Modric, and the ball goes straight out. It's going to be a throw-in for Japan. 10 minutes gone already. Oh, I've only just noticed I haven't even got the clock. I do keep forgetting the clock, don't I? Let's wind that forward a bit. They're saying that Japan are guilty of hitting long balls as well, and they need to start working some passes. Ball comes over to that right-hand side, goes down the line. And here are Japan battling away, going down that left-hand side, but Croatia get a good tackle on. Ball in the middle. Nice little link-up play being played, almost being played back, but couldn't find its intended target. Ball is on the left-hand side. It's whipped into the middle. Edge of the area. Ooh, Japan living a charmed life, trying to get the ball away. Comes over to the right-hand side. The white pattern is origami, says Daniel. What is it? That's cool. They've got a lovely away shirt as well, Japan. Japan shirt away. It's not as detailed, but it's really... Here's Japan. Ball in the middle. Oh, back post. Oh, my God. Wow. Yeah, so that ball came over to the right-hand side, and it's played lovely. That is great. Straight across the box. Ito has been very impressive at this World Cup. He's been very impressive. This is their away shirt. I really love that kind of effect. That kind of blurry kind of effect on the sleeves. This ticks a lot of boxes for me, actually. I mean, it's white, it's crisp, which I do love. I do love a plain kind of crisp shirt. And then I do love these kind of, I don't know, it's sort of like you feel if you put 3D glasses on that they would look 3D. It's that sort of effect on the sleeves. I think that shirt looks really nice. Yeah, I like that. That's their away, I believe. Here's Croatia again trying to come forwards. Modric. I've only just seen this Ajax shirt. What the hell is this? Randomly, I've just seen an Ajax shirt, and I've never seen this before. This is pretty wild. What the hell is that? Ajax are a Dutch team. Look at that. Is that like real? Is that a real shirt? It says that it's real. It says it's 2022, 2023. I do like shirts. I could proper get lost in that world, but we won't. The Japan home and away are sold out. It's impossible to get them. I'm gutted I didn't get one, but I didn't expect them to do so well. Oh, they're really sold out everywhere. They're nice. That is the Ajax pre-match jersey. Ah. Pretty wild. It says third presentation shirt to 2022, 2023. And that's actually on the Ajax website. They do some really fun shirts. They did that Three Little Birds shirt, didn't they? Which was really fun. I haven't actually seen what their shirts look like this season, but Ajax are always one of those teams that are worth keeping an eye on what they're doing. Yeah, that's pretty fun, that is. I like Ajax. I think they're probably my favourite foreign team, Ajax. Ball going down the line for Croatia. They're trying to keep it in play as they try to build something down this right-hand side. A ball whipped into the middle. There's two Croatian shirts in there, but it's cleared by Japan. Japan have got the ball away. Croatia looking to get back, mop it up. There's Perisic. So far, then, expected goals. Croatia, 0.5. Japan, 0.2. Croatia have had 77% of the ball. There's been one shot on target so far in the first 16 minutes. Modric trying to chase on to the end of a ball there at the moment. Both of these teams giving a good account of themselves. Are you ready for Raw? Oh, I was born ready. I haven't seen any news, to be honest, in regards to Raw, so I'm not ready in that regard. But yeah, I'm ready to watch Raw. Should be a fun show. We got the Usos tonight, haven't we? They're in action against Elias and Riddle. Who knows what we're going to get with Alexa? I feel like we need to get some movement there. I feel like we need that to develop a little bit further, you know? Ball is being played over to the right-hand side. Ito. Oh, man, look how he brought that ball down. That was amazing. Just bang, trapped it. Beautiful. Here's Japan then trying to build. Croatia have got plenty of players back, so Japan not able to counter. We've got a back six as the ball is played in. Almost finds a Japanese player. And that ball bounces off the Japanese player and it goes out. It's going to be a Croatia goal kick. Steve said, I've got a few 90s Ajax shirts. The bottle green is my favourite. That's cool. I really like Ajax. Something about them. I think I went to Holland when I was at school. And I remember seeing like Ajax shirts everywhere. And there was something just really special about being in a foreign country and seeing a team. I didn't really know who they were at the time. You're talking like probably mid-90s this was. And they were, like, I think, having a really good spell as well at that point. So there was just stuff everywhere for them, you know. I'm sure there would be now if you went to Amsterdam, but yeah, it was absolutely everywhere. I thought the logo was interesting and the white with like the red down the middle. There's not a team in the Premier League that have that. So even the strip's different. So like the strip, the home shirt was different. The badge was kind of interesting. There was stuff absolutely everywhere for them, and it was like, yeah, they were really cool, man. I think they became at that point my favorite foreign team. And now in like recent years, they've just been having some really interesting like kits. It's a Japan free kick. So Japan free kick. Standing over the ball. Here we go. He's going to look to play it short. It's played into the middle, but that's well dealt with by Croatia. They were never under any pressure there. That was shooting range, but they didn't go for that. They went for like something they've been working on in the training pitch, but offside flag. And so now the ball is with Croatia. Croatia going over to the right-hand side, playing the ball into the middle. Why isn't there any indirect kicks anymore when a defender passes the ball back to a keeper's hands? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know if that's a rule change or something. You don't see indirect free kicks. So what happened to indirect free kicks? Indirect free kicks to the attacking team for an offense inside the opponent's goal area are taken from the nearest point of goal area, which was parallel to the goal line. What? That's like rule 13. I think they're still there, you know. Ball being played by Ito, but goes straight to the hands of the Croatian keeper. Just looking at some of the rules from recent articles, and looks like they are still a thing, but don't see them. Don't see like passbacks though, really. You know, I think teams, that's something you learn at a young age, and teams just don't do that. That's like a real rookie mistake. It says that it is, simply put, it's a way of restarting a football match with a way that the kick cannot result in a goal. And as you say, back passes and stuff like that. Yeah, just don't see him, do you? Don't see him. I wondered if it had even been took out. Ball being played into the box by Japan and cleared. Only if it's a clear back pass, not a poor clearance, says Rotem. Steve said, Ajax used to train every academy player to play for every position. I'm not sure if they still do that these days. That's interesting. I would total football in it. I would think not. But you do get a lot of versatility from Dutch players. You know, there's loads of Dutch players that can play in defence or play on the wing or play in midfield. I don't think that they're going to be... I think, like, you would need to be quite specialist to be, like, play up front, for example. Or to be a defender. Like, you could maybe be a defender that goes into midfields or goes onto the wing. Or you could be a winger that maybe goes up front. But, I don't know that, like, you'd be a defender that can play as a striker. But, yeah, there is a lot of versatility in Dutch players. That's very true. Right, we are halfway through this first half, so a quarter of the game has gone so far. So far, we've still only had the one shot on target. Japan and Croatia both sort of cancelling each other out. But we're seeing... some nice build-up play from both sides, actually. And Japan just enjoying a nice passage of play. Croatia coming in and winning the ball. Referee, though, giving a free kick there. Come on, Croatia, says Legend Killer. Tharuka says, I'm having dinner right now. Why? Oh, we spoke about indirect free kicks. Okay, so we've got a Croatia player down. So he came in, charged in, trying to get a hold of that ball. He went down, holding onto his groin. Holding onto his groin. I don't know what he'd done to hurt his groin, but... Jeez. He might have to have a little mask over them next. We're seeing a shot of the Croatian supporters. Dressed in Arabian attire. So this is taking a while to get going. Okay, here we go. Free kick. Inside Japan's half. Wow, why is this taking so long? Referee's coming over now and having a word. Telling him to move the ball back because he just knocked it forwards. Yeah, the ref needs to deal with this. What the flip are we doing? So Modric is standing over the ball. He's looking to play this in. One team going through, one team going home, of course. Was hoping for a few goals in this one. Nothing has shown itself yet, but edge of the area. Oh, skied over. Skied over by Croatia. He did make a bit of a mess of that. So that was the Croatian defender, edge of the area, tried to take a shot and it went straight over the bar. Kavlog said, I want Japan and South Korea to win so that they face each other in the quarterfinals. That would be fun. I mean, that would mean that Brazil are out, so that would be noteworthy. Don't know that it's going to go that way, though, but it'd be fun. Japan versus South Korea would be interesting. I just don't see it happening, says Tharuka. It would be very interesting. Well, let's have a look and see what their recent results have been, just in case it did go that way. Let's have a little look. So, Japan. Football. So, we have got Japan. Japan beat South Korea in the July in the Asian Cup final round. They beat South Korea 3-0. So if they do face South Korea, I don't know that they're going to be that intimidated. Here's Croatia, though, into the box. Trying to play the ball through, and that was a bad option. Hit off the Japanese player. And that was frustrating. So they played South Korea this year and they won 3-0. When did they last play them before? They played them in 2021 and they beat them 3-0 as well. But in 2019, they lost 1-0 to them. So the three most recent meetings are 2 wins for Japan, 1 win for South Korea. But that win for South Korea is 3 years ago. Disappointment there for Croatia. I think they felt like they were in a really good position there and took the wrong option. Will this be Modric's last match at the World Cup? I would think so. If he goes out here, I would think so. Don't think we see him in 4 years' time. Japan versus Korea is more than just football, says Rotem. It would be interesting. It would be interesting. Japan seemingly would go into that as favourites. But I really can't see South Korea getting past Brazil. But we keep saying it, like, we're waiting for this upset to hit. Ball gets played back. In that Croatian defence goes over to the right-hand sides. Being played. All the quarterfinals look like they're going to be bangers, man. All of them look like bangers. England against France. Netherlands versus Argentina. I'm guessing Croatia, Brazil. Maybe Spain, Portugal. I mean, we could be in for some real treats this weekend. We really could. Ball coming over to that left-hand side, but it's intercepted by Japan. It's a bit of a flat half so far, I would say. It's had a few moments. There's been a few little bits of excitement, but it is still just one shot on target. Ball in the middle, though, by Croatia. Goes over to the right-hand side. It gets played back in over everyone's head, and there's no one that can get on the end of this for Croatia. Again, looking to get the ball in. It's up in the air. Oh, that was exciting. The ball dropped to the back post. Croatia, they're just... How many attempts are they going to have? The ball is just going from side to side as someone tries to get on the end of it. It's just pinballing back and forth. Wow. Yeah, lovely little flick there by Perisic to the back post. And desperately, Kramaric was trying to get onto the end of that. Couldn't get on the end of it. And it ended up going over. And then Croatia again play it back in. Yeah, they're just saying that Croatia need to step this up a little bit now. It's a bit like England in the England game, you know. That game for the first half an hour was close, nervy. England weren't looking that great. The stakes are so high, aren't they? The stakes are so high. You know, one team's going through, one team is going home. Any mistake could really cost your team. So there's, you know, undeniably going to be nerves out there. And neither side's going to want to totally commit to going forward as well, because they don't want to leave themselves open at the back. Here we go then. Ball's going to be thrown in by Perisic. Long throw right into the heart of that Japanese penalty area. Ball up in the air, bouncing around. Cleared by Japan. Knocked forwards. It's just being headed around at the moment, but Croatia bring the ball down. Ball coming over to the left-hand side. Played into the middle. Side-footed, cleared. And Croatia mopping up. His name is Luka. Does he live in the second floor? Luka. Don't get it. Unrelated, watched a lecture from Harvard's, very unrelated. Oh, here's Japan. Japan. Oh, good tackle, but it's still with Japan. There are plenty of shirts back now, though, for Croatia. Japan have got the ball, looking to find a way forward, knocking it. No. Watched a lecture from Harvard Business on the direct effect WWE releases had on their internal economy and that of their rivals It made me look at Vince and Nick with more respect. Well, I need to watch that. That sounds really interesting. That sounds really interesting. Was that on YouTube? I'm going to search for that now. Do I go to YouTube and search Harvard? Because I can tell you I've never done that before. Harvard WWE. No. Where was that? Where was that, Trini? I'd be interested in watching that. Or did you go to Harvard? Did you go to Harvard and sit there taking notes as someone gave a speech? Because that is dedication, that is, to WWE, just to find out a few little bits and bobs. That is dedication. Ledge Killer says, come on, Croatia. Tharuka said Japan are beating the 2018 finalists. That would be huge. Yeah, I mean, it would be big for Japan. It would be big for Japan. Japan just getting through the group was big because it was a tough group, but then winning a knockout game, yes, that would be big for them. And, yeah, Croatia are a credible team. As we said earlier, underrated. Schmidt said Japan is known for having strong second halves. Ball over on that right-hand side. It's from a well-known song, Suzanne Vega, Luca. Oh, okay. I know Suzanne Vega. I probably know that song as well. But I'm trying to think what her big hit was. She had a big hit, didn't she? And it's not Luca. Got her greatest hits. I don't think it will come to me. Suzanne Vega. Is it someone's room? Someone's room? Someone's room? Let's go down. Let's have a look. Luca. Suzanne Vega. One hit wonder. DNA. I don't know. I don't know if I know that one. Susan Vega hits Tom's Diner. That might be the one I'm thinking of. I was thinking someone's room. Tom's Diner. Yeah, I think I was thinking of Tom's Diner. I might have to just listen to it to confirm that I was thinking of Tom's Diner. I'm now listening to Susan Vega. Wrote him because of you. Yeah. I am sitting at the... Yeah, I know. I have her greatest hits. Yeah, it shows how often I listen to them, doesn't it? What's the best animated movie you've ever seen? Mine may be Soul. I've never seen Soul. Best animated movie. It's got to be Toy Story. Japan trying to find a way through. Oh, I'm going to have that in my head now. I mean, I'm killing it, but... And not in a good way. I've lost 5 stone. Well done, James. Well done. That's very impressive. That's a lot. That's a lot. I'm back to where I was before the first lockdown. James, well done. What is your favourite World Cup song? World in Motion. Love's got a world in motion, and I know that we can through. I don't know the words. But, yeah, World in Motion by New Order. That is amazing. Obviously, Three Lions, but World in Motion. Even as an England fan, sometimes like Three Lions can get a bit annoying. It's coming home, you know. I feel like it's bigger than a song in it now. I was watching ESPN and they were saying to the host, they were like, "Is it coming home?" It's just everyone knows it now. Even all the other countries know of it. But I did watch the new Three Lions, 3 Lions on a Sleigh, the new one for this tournament. And that was good. I really like it. It's got a bit of humor to it and everything. No one's going to be singing Three Lions on a Sleigh, though, if they're trying to get that going. If they're trying to make that a thing, it ain't going to happen. But, yeah, it was good. It paid respect to the women, and that was nice to see. But, yeah, World in Motion. Love's got the world in motion. It's not even like a football song, really. But it does have the John Barnes rapping, of course. It's just a great song. Days, it reminds me, Twitter didn't lock you out, so I can't send you the lecture. It's UFC Days. You can send it there, UFC Days. Or just tell me where it is and I'll find it. Retribution said the new one is good. What's your prediction for this match? Well, it feels like it's going to be 0-0 at half-time. I must admit, this first half is not the most gripping. There's been a few moments, but it is still one shot on target in 37 minutes. But these two teams, we said they're really close. They're really close, and we didn't know which way it was going to go. I think it's going to set up a very exciting second half, but I think this first half is just, laying the foundations, getting to 0-0. I think Japan will be the happier team. And they've been in this match. Make no mistake about it. It's been about 60-40. Japan have been in this match, but the best chances have gone to Croatia. Susan Vega, Tom's Diner. Do you think this game could go to extra time? Yes. Yeah. Luca was big, says Rotem. Yeah, I'm sure I'd know it. If I hear it, it'll be one that I'm sure I would be aware of. Because as I said, I did actually get her her greatest hits. I don't even know why. I don't know why I got it. Like, Tom Diner's pretty cool, but it's not good enough to go and buy a best of. Step over here by Japan. Ball up in the air, goes long and drops. I'm listening to Luca now. $60 million views that's got. Anymore. Yeah, I know it. Come on, Croatia, says Ledge Killer. I got it. I'll send it. I don't know how to find it outside of course material. I don't know if it's on a public platform. What? That's amazing. That's amazing. I would definitely love to watch that then. I thought it was just something you'd found on YouTube. I mean, don't worry about it if it's all like super complicated. But yeah, no, I'd definitely check that out. If you can't do it on Twitter, just email it. wrestlingdays@gmail.com. Do you think this game could go to extra time? Yes, I do. Vindaloo song, yeah, Vindaloo. That was a great song. Great because it's just so simple, and you could it was played in all the pubs. You have a few beers, Vindaloo. I mean, does what it needs to do. Does what it says it'll do on the tin. Ah, here we go. Is that Ito? Bursting forwards, trying to play through. Edge of the area. Japan have got to get a shot off from this. Croatia have got plenty of shots back, though. And it looks like it's going to be wasted. They're good when they get going, aren't they? When they're full pelt. Oh, here they go. Japan have got the ball again. Edge of the area. On the inside. Lovely through ball. Oh! Japan. Kamada. Yeah, some of that football was really nice. There was a lovely through ball there. Found its way to Kamada, but the shot goes well over. Still doesn't result in a shot on target. inside. Oh. Americans tried to steal it with barbecue. Nice. Barisic throwing the ball down the line. It goes out of play. Smitster says Ricky Martin for me. Did he do a song for football? Ricky Martin? The Livin' La Vida Loca man. God, that song was massive. That was massive. I feel like that... When did that come out? Because I feel like we were talking about The Box the other day, which was a music channel I used to watch. And we were talking about videos that would always be on. I've got a feeling that that was one because I feel like I could never avoid that song. Side inside out, living la vida loca. I hated it at the time. I still hate it now, to be honest. 1999. Yeah. God, that was everywhere. That was everywhere. I don't feel like those songs exist anymore. Probably it's me, to be honest. I don't listen to the radio or anything anymore. So maybe those songs do exist now. Ball being played in and headed clear by Croatia. There was a song, you know, that I've heard just, I don't know, on a radio somewhere in a car. Never thought anything about the song, right? Didn't think it was anything special. Turns out it's one of the biggest songs in recent years. I couldn't believe it. You probably know it. It's a woman that's it's a woman that in the video is dressed as an old man, I think it is, in like a retirement home, and these old men come in and they're like chatting, and I'm sure the singer is a woman dressed as an old man. Massive. I don't know the name of the song. I can't remember. I remember hearing it like a couple of times. It might have been used on TV or in an advert or something like this as well. And it's one of those songs that you just like don't really pay much attention to it. And then it turns out it's one of the biggest songs in recent times. Oh, it's in by Japan! Japan whip it into the middle! Is it all onside, though? It's a scramble. It's a scrappy little thing, but Japan score. Wow, that's pretty big, isn't it? That's going to be massive in Japan. Could Japan be on the verge of knocking Croatia out? Ball was floated in, drops into the center of the penalty area, so it's a corner to Japan. Played short, goes to the edge of the box. Ball is played in. There is a player offside for Japan, but he's not interfering in play. They said that they'll have a look at the offside, but he's not interfering in play. Yeah, scored. That should stand. That should stand. It's number 25. It's Maeda. Let's have a look. He's having a word. We're seeing the referee. There's a check. There's a VAR check. We have got VAR. So they celebrated it, but there is a check on the goal, and there was an offside player, but it's been given. It's been given. The goal stands. Japan. So, goal for Maeda. And that ruins everything for my fantasy team, doesn't it? Stupid Japan. Right, let's have a look then for who got the assist. Croatia haven't been beaten in 4 of their last 5 World Cup games when they concede first. That is a fun little stat. I like that. We love goals, says Roten. We do. Oh, we love a goal. Oh, we love a goal. I knew it. Japan score. It's a magical score. This is huge for Japan. Mass Singer said it was called Dance Monkey. Yeah, that does ring a bell. Dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me. Yeah, that one. I don't get why it's so popular. I don't get it. That is a track that I didn't hate it. It just didn't resonate with me. She's got a weird like delivery as well that she like sings it. But it came out in 2019. Tones and Netflix star takes down Tones and I and slams her song Dance Monkey. Jenna Ortega, don't know who that is, says that she would kick anyone out of her house if they played Dance Monkey. What song is not on your playlist? She says, I'm not big on pop. A couple of years ago, there was a song called Dance Monkey. It was a global hit, topped the charts in 30 different countries. Yeah, that song, man. I don't get that song. I don't get it. Ball in the middle. Thug said, I didn't get why it was so popular. Okay, good. I feel like at least I'm not alone then. I thought everyone was going to be like, nah, it's a banger, man. How can you not like that song? That song is so good. How can you not like it? Oh my God. I didn't, like, I genuinely don't even understand why it's so big. I don't understand how it topped the charts in, like, I feel like there must have been some crazy marketing campaign. It must have just got hammered on the radio. Like everyone must have been brainwashed into thinking that it was good or something. I don't know. I can't get my head around it. Ball to the back post because with living La Vida Loca, you get that, don't you? You know, an attractive guy singing a song about living life to the max and all this. But the Dance Monkey one, it doesn't. I don't get it. I don't get it, and I'll never get it. Right, well, there we go. That is the end of what was quite for me, a bit of a flat first half, but boom! Japan arrived right at the end with a goal. Right at the end. I don't know who got the assist, but because it's not being listed on SofaScore, but I can tell you that it is Maeda that got the goal. Maybe there is no assist. It was quite the scramble in there, in all fairness. They say Japan have been playing as the much better team in that first half. Will they, if they get through, will they be a problem for Brazil, do you think? DB, hope you're well. Has there been a World Cup without penalties or even extra time? Well, before they were in the World Cup, yeah. I mean, we read that if like England's went to extra time in '66, didn't it? There was no penalties around then, so definitely there's been World Cups without penalties. I can only imagine those early World Cups didn't have extra time, so I would say yes, but you're probably having to go back quite a way. It's Yoshida with the assist, says Francesco. Thank you. I'm going to trust you. Yeah. I'm in a trusting mood. Yoshida is their captain. There we go. DB said, amazing first half for Japan. They are looking quality. One huge takeaway is how awesome Japan can be, said WWE LOL. Trini said, my favourite song is the Macarena. It will always be, to be honest. Yeah, that you can understand that one as well. I get that one. I get it. It's like a party song. Days, if the plan is for The Rock to win the Rumble, how would you book Cody's return? I don't know, because I don't know what the plan would be for him at WrestleMania. I mean, I can only imagine you'd bring him back at the Rumble, have someone eliminate him, and then build towards a match at WrestleMania with the person that eliminated him. I feel like Cody Seth still makes sense. The only problem with Cody Seth is that we've seen it so many times, so there is like something in my head that's like, no, you can't do that at WrestleMania. Because since he came back, like, we've seen him face Seth 3 times. Like, I think people want to see him go up against other people. We have seen him face The Miz on an episode of Raw, I think it was. But I would have Roman drop the WWE title. I'd have him drop it to someone like Seth and then do Seth Cody. But I can't give you any exciting way of bringing Cody back, so I would have brought him back in the Rumble. Like, none of this is going the way I would have booked it. But this is where it becomes hard when you work in, like, creative for WWE. We've said before, like, working in creative is like a dream job. It must be really exciting. But the truth is that, like, you cannot get things going your own way. Like, this is not what I would do. So, but I if I was in creative, would have to deal with this. And they'd be like, right, Rock's going to come back and win the Rumble. How do you book it? And you're like, well, I don't want to book that. I don't want to book that. I don't want that to happen. But this is what you'd have to do in creative. You'd have to be booking things and going down roads that you don't believe in and don't want to go down. And that's why working in creative, I bet, is actually not as rewarding. I bet it's got its moments, but I bet it's really frustrating at times as well, though, you know. Hello, Days. I am a little bit drunk at England, Senegal, but I'm at work now. And my boss keeps asking me to put my phone away. So I've run away. What do you suggest as a good job? So I've run away. What, you've run away from your job? What do I suggest as a good job? I would get into stripping. I think you can make quite a bit of money going around like all the like local towns, putting on a show for the local women. There's money to be made there. Maybe if you get big, you could go international. So I would do that. If I was you, I would rent the full Monty, get your mates round, and start like a bit of a male strip group. And I think everything you need to know is in the film The Full Monty. I would take all my inspiration from that. I mean, look, it's 2022. Things are changing. Cost of living is going up. Times are hard. That could be your slogan, you know. That could be your slogan. It's not only the times that are hard. You can have that for free. You can have that for free. You can have that for your strip group. Well, we went down roads we didn't expect then, did we? I don't want to believe. I hope they're wrong as usual. Febin said, did Matt or Jeff have a better career? Jeff, definitely. I think that Matt always struggled to have a good solo career. I think that when he did the broken stuff, he had a good idea and a good little run, and that worked for him. They seemingly just couldn't get it to quite fit in WWE. It just didn't quite land in WWE. It didn't quite work. I don't think it really grabbed people the way they were hoping that it would. It's weird because like it was a little bit like Bray-esque, obviously, with it being like a bit mysterious, a little bit like it had lots of characters. It had lots of things happening outside of the ring. It had like a whole backstory to it. But I don't think that it was quite as fleshed out or quite as thought-provoking as the kind of stuff that Bray does. Bray kind of has took that and made it a lot more serious, dare I say, and has got more depth to his. So, yeah, I think that... if you was to look back on their careers, I think you would say that Jeff had the better career because he had the Hardy Boys and he obviously had a great run solo-wise. But he's just constantly been his own worst enemy, hasn't he? He's never been able to get much momentum going because he's always had those personal problems. I'm glad that Yoshi got the assist, said Louis. Great player for Southampton on our rise back to the Premier League. There's a thrift charity shop on my way home, and they had wrestling figures. I wish I knew more about figures if they're decent. They had Boogeyman and an early Matt Hardy Attitude Era. Well, I mean, like, to be honest, I think you can always go on eBay and see if they're worth anything. Loose figures are obviously not going to be worth as much as boxed figures. But, you know, there's people that still collect them. And, you know, you never know that you might be able to make some money if you was looking at it from that point of view. I doubt it, to be honest. Chances are they're probably just, you know, very widely available figures. And I would imagine chances are they're probably not worth anything. But you never know. There are figures out there that are, of course. And you could get lucky. But if it's just like because you're interested in like starting a collection yourself, I honestly would just go with the superstars that really speak most to you and the superstars that matter most to you. I've got asked that question loads when I was meeting people like, oh, how do you start a collection? Like, what do you look for and all this kind of stuff? Like, what are the best figures to get? And the honest answer is the ones that mean most to you. I mean, it's a real stupid answer, but it's the right one, you know. It's not really a case of going after like a certain like, do I go after elites? Do I go after basics? Do I go after ultimate editions? Like, what should I go after? But it's like, well, depends what you want to do in it. If you want to go after figures that are going to be worth more in the future, I'd say go after ultimate editions because they seem to be holding their value very well. Go after exclusives, go after Target exclusives, go after Walmart exclusives. And I'll tell you why, because we don't have those in the UK. So straight away, you can sell them on eBay and there'll be people in the UK that will buy them at more than what you pay for them. So your Ultimate Editions, your Walmart exclusives, your Target exclusives, you'll always get a return on those. That'll always be a good investment. Because as I said, you can sell them and you'll make your money back. International people can't get them. We cannot go to Smith's and get Ultimate Editions. We can't get the Walmart exclusives. Can't get the Target exclusives. So if it's investment, then I would look at those. But if it's just for enjoyment, then I would look at just going after the superstars that you want to go after. And they're doing some really good Ultimate Editions at the moment. So, I mean, you might want to go for them over basics, but you're going to pay 3 times more, if not more, for an Ultimate Edition compared to a basic. So, you know, if you want a big collection, getting basics is a quick way of doing that, and just at least having a figure of all your favorites. Basics is the quickest way, cheapest way. And then as you go up to elites, then obviously you're starting to add accessories, which aren't always essential, to be honest. The added articulation is not always essential. It's nice to have the option to pose them in different ways, but it's not essential. You can get some really good basics, actually. But saying that, it does feel to me like the standard of the basics has really gone down in recent years. If you look at like some of the basics they're putting out now, like I don't think the basics are really that good at all. Some of the basics they're putting out now are just real trash. Whereas the standard for the elite seems to have gone up. So the gap between a basic and an elite feels as wide as it's ever been. So you just need to be aware of that. You know, I would say do your research. If you want to get an Asuka figure, for example, go to Google, put in Asuka Mattel, and have a look and see all the Asuka figures. And you might find a basic that you go, do you know what, that'll do me. That looks all right. I think that looks pretty good. And then, like, you might be saying that. I can't remember an Asuka basic. Can't remember them doing one. I'm sure there must be one, but I can't remember one. I remember them do. They haven't done an Ultimate Edition yet, which would be sick if they do, because it'll come with the robe and everything, which will look awesome. And they were meant to make that, but got cancelled. So, but anyway, Asuka probably not the best option. Like a John Cena, you can get John Cena in any type of version of figure. So, but it'd just be a case of having a little look and seeing which one you like the look of. So it's all individual in it. Each collection is different. Around the outside said, thanks. I've joined Hustlers University. to join the real world and become a top G, just like you. I wish you all the best around the outsides. Have you been watching Wednesday on Netflix? It's very good. I haven't. No, I haven't. I don't really get too much time to watch like TV. My schedule tends to be, I love a program called Taskmaster, which is on in the UK. That's where they get a load of celebrities to complete a task. So they'll say, using the items in front of you, paint the best picture possible. But the items in front of them will be a can of baked beans, a sausage, like, you know, it's just random stuff. And then like the comedians have got to use that to try and do the best picture they possibly can. Or they'll do something along the lines of like score a goal blindfolded. And so they'll put them in the garden with a blindfold on, ball in front of them. The goal will be miles away, and they'll have to try and score the goal blindfolded. And some people do really clever stuff, like they'll tie a rope to the goal so that they can then like use the rope as a guide because they're blindfolded. So some of it you go, that's really clever. Or some of people just literally kick the ball as far as they can, hoping that it goes in. And so, like, watching people approach the tasks in different ways is really interesting and funny as well. So, love that show. It's been going for like 12 seasons or so in the UK. So, there's hundreds of episodes now. Well, maybe not hundreds, but I reckon they've done at least over 100. So, if you get a chance to watch that, I'd definitely recommend that. And Walking Dead. I loved The Walking Dead, and I watched the last episodes about a week ago. So those were the two shows that I went out my way to watch. And both are finished now, in honestly. Taskmaster just finished its latest season, and Walking Dead's finished forever. But they are doing some spin-offs next year. So I am looking. I might bring a new show in so that I can watch a new show. But I need to finish Better Call Saul first. Right, here we go. Second half. We haven't got time to chat about TV shows. We need to be fully focused on what should be a very interesting second half. That goal has changed this game. It's changed it. I don't even know if it's football anymore. It's completely changed it. The guy from The Inbetweeners presents it. Yeah, the teacher. Yeah, that's the one. Shot from range by Japan, and it goes straight over. So their first round is they do bring in the item that you keep in a fridge at home. Keep in the best item that you keep in a fridge or something like this. And so they'll bring in items they keep in a fridge. They'll explain why, and they'll get points for the best one, right? So they'll do something like that, around like that. Then they do, I think it's about 3 tasks. The show's about an hour long. And then at the end, they do a live task in the studio. Ball in the middle by Croatia. And as I said, they've done about 100-odd episodes or so, and it's really funny. I always remember this one task where they had these giant exercise balls and a massive hill. And they had to put the exercise balls on top of an exercise mat on top of the hill. That was the task. Quickest wins. Got to take these 2 balls, this exercise mat, and put it on top of this hill. And you can imagine they were all trying to get up this hill, dropping the balls. The balls were rolling down the hill. I mean, I was watching it in tears. I was in tears watching these comedians trying to get these 2 balls, which are both awkward, up this hill and trying to then get a mat. You know, you've got one guy getting up there, then realizing he's not brought the mat. So he's trying to figure out, how do I keep these balls from rolling down this hill if I've got to go back down there? And it was genius because if you read the wording, it said it didn't, the way they worded it, it didn't necessarily say you had to go up the hill. It didn't say you had to necessarily go up the hill. The wording was done in such a way that you could literally put the balls on the mat where they were, and technically that would have been correct. And so one guy did that. He just literally put the balls on top of the mat where they were, and he pointed out that if you actually read it, it doesn't technically say you have to go up the hill. And it was brilliant. All going down the line for Japan. You could pull off a mean little Alex Horn, said Space Maniac. Yeah, it's so much fun. I love that show. It's just an easy watch, isn't it? But there's moments in it where you go, why the hell are they doing that? Why are they doing that? I would never. Why would you do that? Well, I would never do that task that way. Like, so you can watch it from that way, and then like some of it's just hilarious. I love that show. Ball thrown in by Croatia into the middle of the park. It's up in the air, and it bounces wide. We love Japan, says Nathan. TKG said, who have you got winning this game? Well, I had Croatia. I didn't feel brilliant about it. We actually have been talking quite a bit about how this is a really close game. And I don't know that really if Japan win, if it's like an upset. I don't know. I don't know if that classes as an upset. I feel like it probably does because Croatia got to the final 4 years ago, and Croatia are a decent team, and obviously Japan just getting out of their group was a real achievement. But I think of all the big teams for Japan to play in this round, Croatia is probably one that you would go, yeah, I'll try against them. I'll take them. You wouldn't want to be facing England. You wouldn't want to be facing France. You wouldn't want to be facing Argentina. You wouldn't want Brazil. So I feel like these two teams are quite close. And that showed itself in the first half with quite a close first half. But Japan just finding that goal at the end. But a second goal here would be interesting as Japan are looking for it. We're almost 5 minutes into this second half. Ball being launched forwards. Comes to the halfway line. Japan heading it out of their own half. So still 1-0 at the moment. So I went with Croatia, but I knew it was going to be close. I'm still going to go Croatia. I think Japan might have their hearts broken, but they are working so hard. I think a lot of people would like Japan to be the team that go through because they've been a real treat. I mean, they beat Germany. They beat Spain. They have played some great football. They've got some wonderful pace. They're a real interesting side. Where is Modric? Japanese football is on the rise. They have made it their target. They've made it their mission to try and win a World Cup. So they are showing that they are developing and they are growing. Ball goes back to the keeper. First half was a bit boring, said Thruka. Thruka said, if Japan hits a second goal, then Croatia would be in trouble. Maka said, according to reports, Rock is set to enter at 30. Win with Seth and Cody set to eliminate each other, carrying on the feud, says Maka Rice. Kieran said, if England beats France, I would love to face Japan in the quarterfinals. It's not possible. Japan are over on the other side of the draw, unfortunately. So England wouldn't face Japan until the final. In order for Japan to get to the final, they're going to have to beat Croatia. They're probably going to have to get past Brazil. Then they're going to have to probably get past Argentina. And only then would they be in the final. So it's going to be very unlikely that Japan are going to be able to do that. So, ball being played into the middle, and they wanted a penalty there, Croatia. They're not happy about a push, but referee wasn't having it. Ball in the middle. Ivan said, hello, I know we've heard that there's a rumour that John Cena has been having an affair with The Rock. I can believe it. I can believe it. You know what these Hollywood types are like? They're all getting together, aren't they? It's just nothing but debauchery in Hollywood. So, would we be that surprised if John Cena got into an affair with The Rock? I don't think we would. Come on, Japan, said Zakaria. I am commenting this for the third time. Would you want to see Gunther win the world title in 2024? Sure. Sure. I think that makes that time frame makes sense. I wouldn't do it in 2023, but 2024, sure. Here we go. We've got Japan trying to go down the right-hand side. Ball being played back. We've got player in the middle for Japan. Endo on the ball. He knocks it back out to the right-hand side. Ball is in the middle. There's blue shirt in there, but Croatia get it away. It's a corner to Japan. 53rd minute gone. This is not looking great for Croatia. Still, we've only had 2 shots on target in this game. One for Croatia, which was relatively early in the first half, and then the goal. It's a tight, nervy little thing. Don't forget, one team goes through, one team goes home. Who is going to go home? Who is going home? Who's going through? Who could be facing Brazil? Ball being played in. It's up in the air, edge of the area. Bouncing around. Croatia trying to clear the ball. Comes back down. Croatia have got it. Going to look to bring it out of their defense. Knocking it over to the right-hand side. Well, no racing forward by Croatia. Patient build-up from them. Modric, forward ball. Gets lost. Japan have 2 Croatian players around. They lose the ball. Croatia. I tell you what, this would have been really interesting if it had been Brazil-Croatia. I mean, it could go that way, of course. But who would it have been? I think am I right in saying it would have been Spain? Who else was it? Oh, was it Morocco? Was it Morocco and Croatia that came out the same group? Oh, it's in! Ball played into the centre. That's a beautiful finish by Perisic. Wow, just as I was starting to wonder about who Japan could have knocked out instead of Croatia, Croatia equalise. Ball is played into the penalty area, headed in by Perisic. And that is like Route 1 stuff, to be honest. That is Route 1. It is a goal out of nothing for Croatia. That is a goal out of nothing. They're just passing it around. Plenty of blue shirts back. The ball is played into the middle. And it just so happens that a Croatian player gets on the end, steers it towards the goal, and it makes it 1-1. So a goal for Croatia. Goal for Croatia. They get back into this. Perisic. Look at that. Lovely. Right in the corner. Oh, Japan. They took the lead. They've been looking pretty good, in all fairness. So I don't know how... it's Lovren that set up the goal. Lovren set up the goal. How do Japan respond? Croatia playing a little bit better in this half, said DB. Tharuka said disappointment for Japan. High Flyer said Perisic should be played way more for Tottenham. Ball coming over to the left-hand side for Japan. We're back to all square. Endo takes a shot. Endo! Oh! That's a great save. That's a great save. Endo with a shot. That ball was dipping, you know. Was it going in or was it going to hit the crossbar? Goes up. It's coming down. Oh, hard to tell. Hard to tell. Might have been clipping the crossbar, but either way, the keeper had to get a hand on it and deal with it. It's going to be a corner here for Japan. It's going to be a corner. Ball played to the back post, and the keeper comes out and deals with that. Here we're seeing Japan trying to get the ball in the middle, but Croatia on the ball, bringing it away. Ball down the line. Being chased after by Japan. Legend Killer said, what a save. Disappointment for Japan. Endo is class, said Francesco. Zakaria said Japan need days to get another goal. Yep, I'll do it for him. Here's Croatia mopping up, looking for a second. Ooh, ball in the middle. Yeah, there was. They almost pulled the trigger there, Croatia. Very dangerous position. Ball is back up in the air. Nagatomo. Ivan said, what do you think will win the World Cup and Royal Rumble? Who do I think will win the World Cup and Royal Rumble? Sadly, Brazil. Seemingly The Rock. I really hope The Rock thing doesn't come off. Not only do I not really care for him to win the Rumble, it'd be a great moment, but not only am I not, like, crazy about it, but does that mean the Rumble's ruined? The Rumble's been ruined? If I'm Triple H, I ain't doing that. Not now that it's out there and everyone knows. Nagatomo plays the ball into the back line. Do you think Netherlands can make the final? Says Daniel. Do I think Netherlands can make the finals? Well, they could, but I don't think they will. Ball is on the right-hand side. It's played into the middle. Is that Ito? It's Nagatomo. He gets the ball in the middle, cleared by Croatia. Endo bringing the ball forward, but again, there's plenty of Croatian shirts. Shot almost coming in. Japan are looking. The shot does come in, but it just trickles its way towards the goalkeeper. I only want The Rock to face Roman. Even the titles are not necessary, says Tharuka. Come on, Croatia. Zakaria said England and France are the best teams at this World Cup. I want to see both in the final. Can't go that way, can it? Of course. I mean, obviously, they're playing next in the quarterfinals. That's a game that's really spoiling us, isn't it? That is. What a match. I mean, I think Netherlands-Argentina is fantastic as well. Quite fancy Argentina in that game, but I still think it's going to be not an easy task to get past the Netherlands. But I think Argentina get that done. But man, Spain-Portugal as well. I don't know. I don't know who gets out of Spain-Portugal. I would think Spain, but Portugal have got a good set of players. You know, Bruno Fernandes has been on fine form. It's been on fine form at this World Cup. So, yeah, sort of look at, like, Spain, Portugal, if they do both get through. And obviously tomorrow's going to be fascinating. As we said, out of all of the games in this round of 16, I think this is the one people are probably least bothered by. Brazil next will be fun to see if there's an upset. But then tomorrow, we could get some real upsets. Morocco could upset Spain. Switzerland could upset Switzerland. And Switzerland could upset Portugal. But if we do get both the favourites going through, it just sets up a great quarterfinal. Here's Japan playing the ball forwards. Headed clear by Croatia, bringing the ball down. We've got less than half an hour to go. Right now, it is extra time, and it is penalties right now. If we go there, so yeah. We could be looking at penalties. We haven't had a penalty shootout yet. The mainstream publicity of Rock winning Rumble is too much to turn down, said Francesco. Hawkins Jr. says, good morning from Canada. Don't know much. Oh, great save. Great save by the Japanese keeper. Modric taking a shot. Gonda dealing with that. Bang. Oh. Yeah, hits it lovely on the volley, well outside the penalty area, but the keeper was at full stretch. Very good. Keeping Japan in it. Looks like Croatia have woken up. What a save, says Legend Killer. Don't know much about each team, but Japan have been impressive, says Hawkins Jr. Very much so. Croatia might have just upped their tempo a little bit here, though. They managed to get the goal. They managed to get back into it. That was a great opportunity by Modric. Just having a little look at the replay there. Looks. Do you know what? He's done so well. Not only is it a great save, but it's one-handed. And not only that, you can see the ball like turning in the air. You can see the twists and the turns of the flight of the ball. Very impressive. Okay, so changes being made here by Japan. Maeda is going off, and he's been a little troublemaker up front, Maeda has. Applause for Maeda. Asano is coming on. One thing about Japan is when they make their substitutions tend to make a difference. So this manager does a decent job with that. Mbappe would have put that in, says Peter. Here is Japan trying to counter, but comes straight through to the keeper. Beterbiev against Anthony Yard is coming. That is going to be a monster of a fight. I saw that announced, yes. I don't know if it's the same night as the Royal Rumble. That's the only problem. I've got a feeling it might be, because they said it's January, isn't it, for Beterbiev against Yard. Let me just have a look and see when they've announced it for. It is the 28th of January. 28th of January, which I've got a feeling is probably the same Saturday as the Rumble. It's probably the same night as the Rumble. It is the same night. Maybe we can do that fight and then do the Rumble straight after. Maybe there's a chance of doing that. I would like to try and do both, to be honest. Maybe. Please end this. I want to see a penalty shootout, says Nadula. Dasher Dog said, are you doing NXT Deadline this weekend? I don't think so, to be honest. I can't remember. I think it's UFC on Saturday. Let's have a look. Ball up in the air. Cleared. When is this Saturday? This Saturday is the 10th. It is, UFC. So sadly not. Otherwise we would look to do it. It's not just a UFC fight night as well. It's UFC 282. Shot headed towards goal, just wide by Croatia. Just wide. So Saturday we have got 2 quarterfinals, one of which being the England game. And then straight after that, we go into UFC 282. Big week this week, actually. Quarterfinals, obviously, starting in the World Cup. Couple of days on Wednesday, Thursday, where there's no World Cup, which I must admit, I don't mind. I'm quite happy to have a couple of days to try and just recharge the batteries a little. After what has been a pretty non-stop couple of weeks. I think we've been doing like 2 games a day every day now for quite a while. So we've got these 2 games today. We've got the 2 games tomorrow. And then I think Wednesday, Thursday, that's when there's a couple of days where there's no games. And then boom, Friday, we're into the quarterfinals. Croatia are going to throw this in. It's in Japan's half. We're into the 67th minute of the second half. Up in the air, back post, keeper comes and claims. Ball being played forward down that right-hand side. No joy. Yeah, Asano was trying to go down the right-hand side. Just a long ball from the keeper. Asano trying to get onto the end of it, and it ends up going out of play. Zakaria, shout out to you. Would you like to see Gunther keep the IC title at WrestleMania and then win the Money in the Bank and cash it in and win against Cody. I don't know. That's too far in the future for me to worry about. Right, 1-1. We got 22 minutes to go. Just seeing a Croatian fan banging a drum. Ball is up in the air. Comes down and it goes offside. So offside, we've got 20 minutes. Is someone going to find a winner? Or are we going to extra time? Ball being played forward. I don't mind extra time. Don't mind extra time and penalties. We've certainly got the time for it. There is a decent gap between the two games. They're just having a word with Modric there. Modric might need to create a moment of magic. It's going to be a throw-in for Japan in their own half on the near side. Goes towards the halfway line, but Croatia get it. Croatia starting to look a little bit hungry now. Starting to look like the better team, but Japan obviously have got that counter-attack threat. Ball being passed around by Japan. It's on the halfway line. They're the ones that have got the ball at the moment. There's plenty of Croatian shirts back. They've got a back row of 4 with 5 in front, and that ball goes straight out. So it's going to be a goal kick to Croatia. The game said, I want to see penalties. Days I came back to my old job after Hustlers University and he talked his mouth to me, so I punched him and he battered me and I cried and I ran away. Sounds like my day. Peter says, name your price. England winning World Cup or you winning 1 million right now. Ooh. England win the World Cup or I win 1 million. That's tough. That's really tough. I would probably take the million. I'd probably take the million. To be honest. I mean, like, that million changes your life, doesn't it? You can get a house, you can get a car, you've got a bit of security. A million in this day and age, it doesn't go as far as it used to. That's not you, like, completely sorted for the rest of your life. But it's a massive, like, if you're, sensible, which I'd like to think I would be, you'd be able to get a house with that. Just a small house. Do you know what I mean? A couple of 100,000, just like average. A couple of 100,000 they are now. So, be able to get a house, you'd be able to get a car, 20,000, something like that. And then you'd still have, like, a good chunk of money, wouldn't you, to see you through? Yeah. I think you'd have to do that. Because then you can look after, like, you can help your family out a little bit as well. And it's hard, isn't it? It's hard at the moment. So, yeah, I'd have to take the million. Ball being played into the middle. It's being brought out from the back by Japan. Japan are passing it around. Ball up in the air. It's comes over to the right-hand side. Trying to get it into the middle. No joy. Croatia bringing the ball away. I'm surprised you didn't go to Telford. William Regal, Danielson there, Kurt Angle and Godfather, says Steve. Yeah, when? Where? With all the free time I've got. We did 2 games on Saturday night. We did the Tyson Fury fight. We did UFC. Then went to bed to get up to do the 2 games yesterday. So, I mean, honestly, they could have been in my garden. I just don't have time, do I? Let's change this back. It's just flipped away off the stats. It's a corner here to Croatia. It's okay if you put my picture of the arena on the pods. I'll have a look, dude. I haven't had a chance to get to it yet. It's going to be a corner to Croatia. Oh, it's kept down on the ground. Cleared by Japan. Well, yeah, now it's cleared by Japan. So around the halfway line. Knocked forwards. Croatia trying to get onto the end of this ball. Japan are battling away. There's a real battling performance by both teams here. Of course, 1-1. We're into the final 20 minutes. And any goal now you think would be monstrous for seeing a team to go through. Both teams battling to ensure that they get that goal. It's Croatia that are looking, dare I say, the more likely. They're on the ball at the moment in Japan's half. That ball is being played forward, comes over to the right-hand side. Whipped into the middle, up in the air. Wide. But we are seeing Croatia starting to use their experience and find a way forward and kind of apply themselves. They haven't been that impressive in this game, but maybe they're getting impressive at the right times. Maybe as this game reaches its conclusion, they're starting to find a bit of rhythm. Kamada is coming off. Kamada has done well. He's had a few opportunities. Sakai has come on, number 19. So a substitution for Japan into the final 15. What are your thoughts on Yorkshire puddings and gravy? I like them. I like Yorkshire puddings. I don't mind gravy. I'm not someone that likes loads of it. I'll have a bit of it, but I don't go for loads of it. But yeah, I'm not really a cooked dinner guy, believe it or not. I can just think of like loads of other meals I would rather have. This idea of having a cooked dinner every Sunday, that does not appeal to me in the slightest. I don't mind going once in a blue moon out to have like, roast beef and potatoes and sprouts and carrots and Yorkshire puddings and gravy but there are people in this country that will have that every Sunday. And we have it a lot, in all fairness. We have it a lot of Sundays. We will have a cooked dinner, but so over it. I don't know if it's just because I've had it so many times, or I genuinely don't know, but I just don't really enjoy them anymore. I think there's so many other meals that I prefer. But I certainly don't mind it once in a while. Ball is bouncing around in the middle. Tharuk said, I would love to see a penalty shootout. I agree, you need to get a vacation. Oh, I don't need a vacation. I'm just very much looking forward to just having a couple of days without the World Cup. It's been pretty much non-stop. But it's been really enjoyable. I mean, you'll get no complaints from me. Been really, really fun. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's games, to be honest. I think those games tomorrow, look really interesting. The Brazil game, this one's interesting. It's close, but it's sort of gone the way that we thought it was going to. They've kind of cancelled each other out. The game's got a lot better in the past 15 minutes. But I think that here's Croatia bursting forwards. But I think tomorrow could be just wide. Just wide by Perisic. Perisic is looking like a troublemaker. Firing that shot and firing it just wide. But yeah, the thing with this game is I don't know if like Japan win, if it's like a big upset. I feel like these two teams are close. I really don't see South Korea losing to Brazil. But like Morocco against Spain, it's tasty that. Switzerland against Portugal. Tasty. All the fans are on their feet at the moment, cheering their teams along. We're at 13 minutes. Ball in the air. Down. Oof. That's a great tackle by the Japanese player there. Number 8. Doan. Got an essential tackle on. I think there's Charlie. Shout out to you. Penalties, says James. James is hoping for penalties. Could be going that way. Could be going that way. It'll be a draw. Then will there be penalties? We go to extra time first. So if this is a draw after 90 minutes, then you get half an hour extra time. In all fairness, there's been people saying that you should lose that half an hour of extra time. The only thing I would say about that is that I think it is better that a football game is ended in it's like the way it should be ended in, as like, you know, a team scoring goals and giving people that extra half an hour. I think it'd be a shame to lose that, because penalties are so cruel, and it's such a cruel way to decide a football game. You can make the argument you've had 90 minutes and you should have won. You know, if you want to go through that way, you've had 90 minutes. And I understand that argument, but I think giving teams just that extra half an hour to see if they can find that goal, I really don't mind that. I really don't mind them being given that chance. I think football games ending the way they should end, with a team scoring more goals than the other, that's preferable to a penalty shootout. Penalty shootouts are great for neutrals. They're great for neutrals. But when you lose a penalty shootout and it's your team, they do feel so cruel. They do feel so cruel. Japan whipping the ball in. Because the other thing as well is that a team could park the bus and just play for a 0-0. Croatia clear it. Japan were looking to see if they could score there. Yeah, you might get a team that park the bus for 90 minutes and just take the penalties, you know? It's a bit harder to park the bus for 120 minutes, for example. Ball is being passed around the back by Japan, cutting on the inside. Through, ball goes all the way through to keeper. Jink Azama said, bring back the golden goal. Yeah, a golden goal was interesting. Golden goal was interesting. The only problem with the golden goal is that, again, did both teams just shut shop? You know, do you then have both teams just not want to try for a goal because they don't want to risk conceding? Because when you do concede, conceding becomes a lot more scarier than the thought of scoring. If you score, you could win the game, but you could easily get countered, leave yourself open, and concede the goal that puts you out. So the problem with golden goal was, I think, always do both teams just shut up shop? You know, do both teams just stay back, and, you know, then does extra time just become irrelevant? I don't know. It's a really interesting conversation. I believe that's why they got rid of it. I think had it have been a success when it was in, had it have been like, you know, resulted in some like really good dramatic extra times, then I think they would have kept it around. But I'm sure they got rid of it because teams were just shut in shop. No, it's tricky, isn't it? It's a big conversation. Like, there's been lots of conversations about, is there a better way of doing it than penalties? Should you have extra time? Should you have a golden goal? They even tried the silver goal, didn't they? Which I believe was it if you score in the first half, you win the game. I think it's like, I think silver goal was like, if you score in the first half, you immediately win. But if you score in the second half, you don't immediately win. And you, like, the rest of it plays out so the other team can try and get back into it. I think that was silver goal. I also might have just made that up, but I don't think I have. Hello, Days. Thanks for the streams. I've got the flu, said Ryan Gambler. I need something to distract me from sickness. Thanks for everything that you do. Ryan, shout out to you. I'm sorry to hear that. We had Cal. Cal was also suffering with COVID. I think he's making a speedy recovery, so I think there is flus and sicknesses doing the rest. It's that time of year, isn't it? It's that time of year. Ball being played forward by the keeper. Makes its way, it's bouncing around, makes its way into the Japanese half. It's on the half line and halfway point. And Croatia have got a free kick. We've got 8 minutes left here. Croatia playing the ball over to the left-hand side. Knocking it back into the centre. Here's Modric. Ball going down the right. Trying to build something. There's plenty of blue shirts back. Japan obviously very quick with their counters. So Croatia having to be very careful about committing too many people forwards. They're having to go about some of their attacks by really dissecting Japan and playing some balls and finding room and trying to unlock this Japanese defense. And that's proven to be very, very difficult. Certainly whilst Japan possess that counter-attack threat. Ball in the middle. Bursting forwards. Knocked over to the right-hand side. Here's Perisic. Couple of little step-overs. Nice give and go. Go straight out of play. Go straight out of play. You are right about that silver goal. Okay. Wow. That's amazing. I don't know where I've pulled that from. I can't give you examples or anything, but I just remember it being around in like the late 90s, mid to late 90s, early 2000s. That was when like the whole golden goal, silver goal conversation was being had. And it was a very interesting development, but it's all gone now, isn't it? That ball goes straight out of play. I want to be a sports journalist. Have you got any tips? Well, you need to get all your grades at school, and you need to go into like media, I would imagine. I almost did media at college. I'm quite pleased I didn't, only because I did drama and theatre studies instead, and I had a fantastic time. I really enjoyed myself. But some great people that I met whilst I was doing that. So I wouldn't change that at all. But I almost did media, and that I think would have helped me get into like journalism if I had wanted to have gone that way. Ball is no. That ball almost going out. So, I think if you want to get into, like, sports journalism, then I would recommend Googling sports journalists and just seeing what info you can find of, like, the kind of grades you need, the kind of courses you need to take. And then that's going to massively help you know what you need to do when you go to college or university and all that kind of stuff. You have to start planning that stuff at a very young age. Ball is played into Croatia, and the ball is headed wide. Aiden, hello. Is that the stadium that seats 80,000? It certainly looks like a big stadium, this one. I think it's the Eiji Stadium that can hold like 80-odd thousand, isn't it? Let's have a look. Croatia. Japan. This game is being played at Janoub Stadium. Janoub Stadium is only 45,000. Janoub. I think it's the Lusail Stadium that is their big one. Let's have a look. Lusail is 88,000. And that will host the final. We have been seeing a few games at the Lusail. I think Brazil have been playing at the Lusail. Ball up in the air. We're into the 87th minute. Any goal now you think would win it. Any goal now will win it. Otherwise, we are staring at 30 minutes of extra time and maybe penalties. Perisic putting his hands up. There's boos for Perisic. It's a free kick for Japan. Going down the left-hand side, it's kept in play. Ball gets knocked back. Even 45,000 is awesome. It looks massive. I must admit, it looked bigger than 45,000. I do agree. ball bounces back. I want to know what Man United are doing. Man United are looking at getting like new stadiums sorted and everything. I've got to think that this is playing a big part in the Glazers leaving. The Glazers are interested in selling Man United because Man United need a new stadium. It certainly needs a major overhaul, Old Trafford. I would love a new stadium, but there's plenty of United fans that don't want to see Old Trafford get, like, torn down, and I can understand it. I can totally understand it. But I think, like, we could build a stadium on the same ground. It's actually quite a bit of ground that Man United have got. So you might be able to build a stadium whilst keeping Old Trafford going. And then, yes, you would have to tear it down after. But either way, like, I'm really interested to see what they're going to do. And I really want it to be 100,000. I really want them to build 100,000. Because, like, we don't have a 100,000-seater stadium in this country. We don't have one. The biggest we've got is Wembley, and that's 90. And you can make the argument of, like, oh, you don't need 100,000. But, like, Man United's fan base is, like, 1 billion people or something mental around the world that say that Man United is either their team or one of their teams. And so they've got a massive fan base. I think the waiting list for season tickets is in the years. You have to wait years to get a season ticket. Here comes Japan, but nice tackle. Here's Croatia. Oh, man, if Croatia score now, this will be heartbreaking. Japan wanted an offside there, but didn't get it. But they have managed to get a hold of the ball. Crunching tackle. Couple of players go down. Yellow cards being shown. This definitely has got a feel of extra time about it. It's definitely got that feel. 1-1 at the moment, and we are in the 90th minute. We've had both teams have had 3 shots on target. There's been some decent chances in this second half. The second half's been much better than the first. First was not that great. Second half has been much better. 4 minutes. Can someone find a goal in the next 4 minutes? Japan, Croatia. Who is going through? Heather said 90,000 is still pretty massive. It is true. I think there's something special, though, about hitting that big 100,000. And Barcelona have got that, for example. And obviously there's some big stadiums in America that hit that 100,000. It just always seems like a benchmark to me. It always seems like a real statement. If you're building a stadium and it's 100,000, you go, wow. That's one of the, I mean, just wow. That is, without even knowing anything else, it is one of the biggest stadiums in the world. I know that there's not loads of 100,000 stadiums in the world. It's a real statement. So if I was designing the new Man United stadium, that would be my starting point. First thing I'd do would be like, it's going to be 100,000 at least. If you want to give me a bit more, 105, 110, lovely. But it's going to be 100,000. And then I'd worry about everything else. The silver rule stopped being used in 2003, and it was only used for a couple of years. Nice facts. Nice facts. Ledge Killer, 4 minutes. Heather says, come on, Japan. Hayden says, come on, Japan. Do they take the stadium down like they're done? After they're done, says Ryan. I think this is the controversial thing, is that I know that the one that's made out of shipping containers gets taken down. I don't think the others do. I think these are permanent stadiums, and like the question has rightfully been asked, what the flip are you going to do with all these stadiums? Because Qatar's not that big, and I think all these stadiums are very close together. They don't need them. So, yeah, there are some big questions being asked about that. Ball gets played back. Here's Modric. Knocked into the middle. Goes over to the left-hand side. Down the line, and it goes straight out. Malaysia have have their own national stadium, and that's 80,000. It was reduced from 100,000 as part of new construction. Oh. That's interesting. I suppose, like, you would reduce it if, like, you don't quite need 100,000, or if you've got, like, you know, X seating that's going to be a bit further apart, for example. Some of the seats and everything at Old Trafford in particular can be really cramped and really, like, tight. Oh, my heart would break if they reduce the... They can't do that. They can't reduce the capacity of Old Trafford. We need more seats, not less. My heart would break. It really would. Imagine Man United, like, knock this stadium down. They come back with one that's, like, 60,000. They can't do... They wouldn't do that. Here is Japan on the ball, and it looks like they're just running out the clock now, and it looks like they're quite happy to go to extra time. Passing the ball down the left-hand side. Trying to get it down the line, but it's intercepted there by Croatia. Ball goes out. 20 seconds left here in this game. Extra time looks a certainty now. Ball is played back. Could there be one chance to get a shot off? Someone's got to have a go, otherwise the ref's just going to blow the whistle here. No, it's gone back. That'll do it. That'll do it. It's going to be extra time. It's going to be extra time. Couldn't find a winner. Extra time beckons. Drama. Drama, guys. Drama. I don't even have, like... Well, I do have a clock. I am ready for extra time. But I have to do a little bit of tweakage. Old Trafford is 75. New one should be 80 to 100. Yeah, I'll be gutted if the new one is only 80, though. Okay, so extra time is what we've got coming up. All to play for. Qatar stadiums are made of shipping containers. They can tear them down and move. Well, one of them is. But I don't believe all of them are. Eric said the New York Giants had a tie yesterday against the Washington Commanders. Never heard of the Washington Commanders in my life. James, hello. Hope you are well. Dragon Slayer says there is a full pub that's watching. Hello, everyone. Whee! It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming. Football's coming home. Yes. Yes. I bet everyone in the pub now is just throwing beers at the screen right now. Just chucking beers. Hopefully we've started a fight somewhere. That would be fun. I mean, not for the people that own the pub, but or the person that's getting beaten up, but probably deserve it. James said, I knew we should have gone with 1-1 in the prediction game. Extra time. Let's go, Japan, said Zakaria. Francesco says, we love Japan. The stadium that was built in 98, the old stadium construction, needed to be made into a modern stadium. Yeah, I think Old Trafford, Man United's Old Trafford, the last time that got updated was around the mid-2000s. When the Glazers first came into Man United. And since then, there's been no development work on Old Trafford either. So that's had like a leaking roof and has kind of looked a little bit dodgy. They keep saying it needs a lick of paint. It needs a lot more than a lick of paint. So I'm really excited to see. I don't know if we find out next year what they're going to do with that. But I'm really excited to see what they've got up their sleeve. I love stadiums. I don't know what it is about stadiums. I've just always been really interested in them. And, you know, I was super gutted when they redid Wembley and it was 90,000. Because there was rumours they were going to make that 100,000. And then for some reason they dialed it back, scaled it back just that little bit. Losers. Cowards. Cowards. Do you remember the Bradford City fire? Yes, I do. In that stand. Yes. That's a long time ago, isn't it? That's a long time ago. Yeah, that was horrific. That was horrific. The Malaysian National Stadium is built for the Commonwealth Games, and now it does football events. We need an extra time song. Feel free to send in your entries for an extra time song. And, oh man, that's such a good idea. People could send in video clips of them going, goal! Like that. And then when there is a goal, we could easily just press play. Easy. And if someone wants to do an extra time song, we could have that queued up. It's extra time. It's extra time. I'm feeling fine because it's extra time. Yeah. Feel free. My emails are open. Just looked up. The next World Cup stadiums range from 60 to 90,000. Is there no 100,000? I'm very surprised if there's no 100,000s because we're in America. And I know they've got some juicy stadiums. I want to say SoFi. I think that's 100,000. I know there's not loads. AT&T Stadium, I believe, is hundreds. So I'd be surprised if there's no 100,000s at the next World Cup. Everton's new stadium is built on bitter tears and broken dreams, says Steve. I think it's called the Mersey, isn't it? Actually, it's on the dock, isn't it? They've took over some of the docks. They said Japan are a fit team, but they were starting to slow. Here we go. So 15 minutes. And then after that, another 15 minutes. So one half of 15, a second half of 15, and then penalties. The 100,000 seaters in America are mostly college football use. They don't use those for soccer. No, but I don't think the stadiums for the World Cup are soccer stadiums. I think that I think I'm right in saying they're using American football stadiums. Because you can easily convert those over. So I think I'm right in saying that. I don't think they're using soccer stadiums for the World Cup. Ball is knocked out. Do you like Sedaziums? Sedaziums? What? WWE LOL said, does extra time mess up your schedule with eating and stuff? Yeah, it does a little, actually. I haven't eaten today. So I was looking forward to having something to eat. So yeah, actually, now you mention it, it does. Yeah, it'll probably mean that I'll have to just try and grab something super quick. I don't know what. Well, no roast chicken dinners for me. Ball being played into the middle and it's headed wide. That was pretty poor by Japan, so nothing coming off there. Easy99 said, the other second main stadium in Malaysia is also old. I think it was built around 1990, but now it's full of rust. There was a big flood and the roof is broken. It's going to be destroyed and we get a new stadium. I do like sometimes, I haven't done it for a long time, but I do like to go on YouTube, and normally there's people that do videos about forthcoming stadiums. Stadiums that are like being built. And haven't seen one for a while. But I would be interested to know what stadiums were being built in 2023 and how big they are. And, you know, is there anything sexy coming in America? They had SoFi being built, and that was a massive project. And that was exciting. I think there's an argument SoFi could be the best stadium in the world. SoFi Stadium. Love that. I think I'm right in saying that's where the Super Bowl was this year. Was SoFi, and am I right in saying that that's where WWE are going to be next year? Is that where WrestleMania is, at SoFi? Either way, it's a wonderful stadium, and it's really interesting because not only is it the stadium, but it's a big complex as well. It's got loads of stuff there, so it's really interesting. Here's Japan. Ball is running through, but it's cleared by Croatia. Here's Endo. He's been a little troublemaker, hasn't he, Endo? He's been a little troublemaker. Japan playing the ball over on the left-hand side. Ball in the middle. Gets passed back out again. Gets played back. Comes over. Knocking it forwards. Played forwards. Edge of the area. Japan are looking, but Croatia are trying to defend. And they've got the ball out. Here's... Ball goes out. The Pontiac Silverdome was destroyed. Yes. Yes, that was amazing that had just completely not been getting used. It's amazing, isn't it, that where WrestleMania 3 was held, that's a massive stadium as well. I watched a video on that. I really do like stadiums. They did some, like, monster truck shows there and things, and there was concerts that were there. But it was apparently quite far out. And it was like on the outskirts of wherever it was. And so it just wasn't being used. And it fell into disrepair. And someone went in there and had a look around before it got knocked down. You can see, like, they do a lot of those kind of abandoned type videos. They're great. I love those. Going around, like, buildings that are, like, derelicts. And looking around, like, you know, a stadium that's in, like, you know, bad state. And it's on the verge of being knocked down. That was really interesting. I wish it's a shame that we didn't get a chance to look around the old Wembley before that got knocked down. Would have been great if there'd have been like just a big tour around the old Wembley before that got knocked down. That would have been really good. We used to have these iconic 2 towers. They weren't very big, but they were known as the Twin Towers. I have no idea what was in them. I'm guessing offices. But, yeah, it would have been great to have had a little look around before they got knocked down. There was loads of people that wanted those Twin Towers kept and used as part of the new Wembley. But they sadly weren't. I think I heard that they might have used the bricks to form part of the foundation for the new Wembley. But, yeah, they're not around anymore. But I love little quirky stuff like that when it comes to, like, stadiums and everything. Ball being played forwards by Croatia now. Both teams have had 3 shots on target. It's been a real battling performance by both sides. Both teams are going to know they've been in a fight. This is great for Brazil. I bet Brazil are watching this thinking, yes, knacker yourselves out. Completely empty the gas tanks. Those out of play. Days plus stadiums is, but it's not days, is it? It's DAS. It's Sadaziums. I am always impressed when stadiums have a roof that can be opened or closed, says Ryan. Yeah. I'm only impressed though if it's 100,000 underneath. If it's any like Wembley's got a roof that can partially close. I just think to myself now, the problem is I don't think they're going to expand Wembley. And you've got this because of this roof. You'd have to like find a way of expanding the roof and everything. So like a roof that closes, I'm very impressed if it's 100,000 underneath. Any less. And I just feel like you've put a lovely top on a stadium that doesn't deserve it. That's how I feel. I can't hide my true feelings. Japan still looking to see if they can find this goal. We're eight minutes into this added on time. Normally when you go to added on time, there's a real good chance you're getting penalties. So I think there's a real good chance we're getting penalties. There's still obviously just over 20 minutes to go, though. The only thing with extra time is that 15 minutes isn't that long. And then when you get to, like, you know, that, then there's a break in play. They change halves. Obviously, players getting more tired in the second part of extra time. So you're not seeing, like, the quick countering or anything. So is Modric going off? Modric is going off for Croatia. Wow. Modric off for Croatia, and is that the last time that we see him at a World Cup? He is getting a great reception. Modric is off for Croatia, and one of the world's great players might be leaving the World Cup stage for the final time, because if Japan win, then that could be the last time that we see him. He's, I think, 37, they said. So in 4 years, he'll be 41. I just don't think he'll be there. I think he's done a great job to get to this one. I think once you get to your, like, if you're 31, 32, I think when you're about that age, 31, 32, 33, I think, or 34, if you can get to a World Cup, you've done really well. 31's maybe a bit young. Maybe like more 33, 34. If you get picked, like, you've done really well, because, you know, the average age of the squads are about 26, 27. So if you're 33, so to then do another World Cup after that is stunning. And so, you know, if he's 37 now, that means he was 33 at the last World Cup, because that's how maths works. So I don't think you can look at that and expect him to be at the World Cup again. I don't think you can expect to see Modric when he's 41. So that might be, if Japan win this, that could be the last time we see Modric at a World Cup, and he's been an absolutely brilliant player. Ball goes out of play. 10 minutes gone. Prediction for extra time, says Rotem. I think penalties. I think it's just going to stay as it is now. You do find the problem with extra time is that there's a lot of tired legs out there. They've given everything. Even during extra time, like, the team that's the weaker team is definitely thinking, let's just get to penalties. Shot. Oh, blocked there by Japan. Shot coming in. Another block as well. And the ball goes out. Francesco said, I think it depends on the position. Midfielders start slowing down around 32, 33. The only beautiful stadium I've seen in Malaysia is the Tun Ibrahim Stadium. The stadium consists of 45,000 like World Cup stadium with modern technology and world-class facilities. Sounds nice. Sounds small. It's not 100,000. That's how I rank stadiums. Here's Croatia with a throw-in. Boom. Extra time, says Charlie. Ball goes all the way back to the keeper. We are about a few minutes away from halftime here. Okay, the keeper is going to look to kick this away from the Japan half into the Croatian half. Japan looking to put some pressure on, but comes to a Croatian player, goes back to the keeper. They said they tried the golden goal. It didn't really work. And I think they're talking about, like, this extra time period being looked at. Yeah, I don't know. It's tricky. I agree it's tricky. I wouldn't personally want to see a game go from 90 minutes to penalties. As we said, you know, I think that teams could park the bus and then just try and take a game to penalties. I think the fact that if you park the bus, you've still then got another half an hour to try and survive might just dissuade teams from taking that approach. But I do agree, like here's Japan are going to get there. I do agree that, like, the extra time period rarely results in winners. Ball is on the right-hand side. Croatia looking to try and find a way forward, twisting, turning, playing the ball back. Ivanovic again gets played back to the Croatian player into the centre, knocking it down that right-hand side. Having a little look, but we've only got 2 minutes, and then we get another. Then we get another break. Look at my last message. It is an extra time song. Extra time, extra time. No, 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 no. Extra. I don't know how you do it. That's that theme. Extra time. Extra time. No, no, no. Extra time. There we go. That'll be Christmas number 1, that will. As the ball goes straight out. Do it for Ash, says Rotem. Here we go. Ball being played forward by Croatia. Trying to find a through ball, but no joy. No joy. Japan pick up the ball. Bursting forwards. Japan trying to find a way into the middle. Trying to take a shot. Oh, God, that would have been amazing. If that had gone in, that would have been an amazing goal. Would have been an amazing moment. Ball is in and it's cleared by Croatia. Oh, my God, what a shot. That was amazing. It's a corner to Japan. Do you know what? This half needed that injection of momentum and enthusiasm, and bang, he just provided it. If that had gone in, it would have been one of the best goals at this World Cup. It is right down the centre, unfortunately, but Ito, this is probably going to be the last action of this period. Ito going to look to play it in. Corner. Can Japan get something from this? Into the middle. Bouncing around. Endo. Back to Ito. Trying to get it into the middle. 2 added minutes. The ball up in the air. How is there 2 added minutes? 2 added minutes? We only had 15 minutes of play. There was a real flurry of action there. So Matona with a shot on goal. It's a lovely strike. This is what the extra time looks like. Extra time. No, 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 no. Extra time. That would have been one of the best goals. It was amazing. Do you remember the Tyler Bates song? Do that with extra time instead of Tyler Bates. Ball going down that right-hand side. Into the middle. It's brought down. Croatia. There's 2 minutes here. We've already had 1 minute. Croatia are looking to see if they can... Oh, man, this will break Japanese hearts. Ball coming in. Cleared. I tell you what, we've got a little bit of tension now in the game. This game has exploded into life thanks to that chance that Japan just had. It's really annoying because now the game's got, like, really interesting. We're gonna flip in and go to the second half of extra time, aren't we? Commentators just said the exact same thing. Is like, I don't want there to be a break in extra time. I don't want there to be a break in extra time. Ball coming over to that right-hand side because this pickup in pace has really injected some life into this game. Into a game that largely, you've got to say, has been pretty lifeless for the vast majority of it. But there we go. That is the end of the first half of extra time. Let's pause that. Ding, ding, ding. Wrestle with Andy. Hello, hope you're well. So, first half of extra time is done. We've got 15 minutes left, and then if nothing comes, if there's no goal in this next 15 minutes, it is time for penalties. And I must admit, I do not have penalties set up. I do not have anything set up for penalties, so we're going to have to do some... have to do a little bit of work on that front. I sort of thought, oh, I'll deal with it when we get to it. I took that approach. I'll deal with it when we get to if it happens. It looks like it might be happening. Do it for Asuka, says Rotem. Do it for Dave Meltzer. Now's the time to have a crossbar challenge instead of penalties, says Wrestle with Andy. Will this be the first penalty shootout? Yeah, well, we haven't seen one at the World Cup. Look, we got Japan in a huddle. Come on. They're fired up. One team goes through. One team goes home. Martin said, I can't believe Lovren hasn't retired yet. Rotem said, do it for Nakamura. Days, if a sausage roll song can be a Christmas #1, then an extra time song can. That's true. Have they said if they're doing another one, Lad Baby? I really hope not. Like, I'm all for charity and everything, but there's other ways to raise money for charity, and they're like, I feel like doing it once is fine to raise money for charity. Like, that's cool. The second time, no. There's other ways to raise money for charity. You're taking away Christmas #1s. You're basically stealing them from the country. So, yeah, my guess is they'll probably do another. My guess is that people will probably buy it. And my guess is it'll be another sausage roll themed flipping Christmas #1. Right, here we go. This is what we want, said Easy99. Penalties. Not a 3-0, not a 3-1. It's not challenging at all. Richard said, do it for Typhoons. Ball going out of play. Ball goes out of play. Peter says their best player is going to take the first bet. I don't know. The order of penalties is really interesting. The order, I mean, like, Southgate spoke before the Senegal game saying that they are ready for penalties. So England have been practicing them, and he knows the order that they're going to be taken. I think if England go to penalties, it's going to be really interesting to see who steps up. There was a lot of criticism last time we took a penalty shootout, and that was obviously the final of the Euros, because we brought some people on as subs in extra time, and then they ended up taking penalties. And they just didn't seem to have the feel of the ball. They didn't seem to be into the rhythm of the game, which all sounds like quite, you know, silly things to say, like you're just taking a penalty, but it seemed to matter. So I think that is something that hopefully he's learnt from. Harry Kane would take one almost certainly. And then really it depends who the forwards are. You've got to think that Foden, Saka would take one if they were on the pitch. Rashford would take one if he's on the pitch. Sterling if he comes back maybe. Here's keeper knocking it forwards. So yeah, it'd be really interesting. To know who would be England's penalty takers. I mean, if you're a player now, you must be thinking about them. And you must know if you're someone that's got to take one. Do it for Akuna Matata, said Ernest on purpose. Heather says, do it for New Japan. Do it for All Japan. Do it for Noah. Do it for DDT. Do it for Stardom. Yes. Do it for Godzilla. Ball up in the air. I bet he's a wreck right now. I bet he's a nervous wreck Godzilla. Probably having to have a little stroll around. He's probably took time out from destroying Tokyo so that he can watch the game. But I bet he's an absolute mess. Here's Japan going down the left-hand side, playing the ball into the middle. So 18 minutes gone. A goal now, you would have to think. It wouldn't immediately end the game, but you'd have to think that it would win the game for whoever scores it. Yeah, win a free kick, get a corner, do something. Japan have got the ball in their own half at the moment. They can't get out their own half. On ball forwards. Bouncing around, it's brought down. Ball being played across to the left-hand side. Here's Japan in the middle. Good work. Good work. It's knocked over to the right. It's being chased after. That ball's going to go straight out. It does go out. It's going to be a throw-in. Nothing comes of that. Do it for Nintendo. Do it for Miyagi. Oh, my God, you're right. Do it for Mr. Miyagi. Do it for Mr. Miyagi. Do it for the Karate Kid. Melissa says, that sounds wrong. I'll wax you off, Jimmy. Oh. Lovely. We've got some lovely offers in the chat right now. Ronaldo's going to take all the penalties, says Rotem. Yes. Well, he might not take them all, but he will definitely claim all the goals. Do it for Alex Riley. Godzilla and Mothra are biting their nails to the quick right now. Steve is singing an extra time song. It's extra time. Extra time. Come on down. It's extra time. Penalties. Oh, penalties. I've got it now. I've got it. It's extra time. Come on down. It's extra time. I can't do it. It won't fit. Penalties. Yeah. Penalties. Yeah. Extra. Come on down. It's extra time. Yeah. Extra time. That's better. A bit of Rebecca Black. Nicely played, Steve. Nicely played. Ball being passed around. Going down the left-hand side. Do it for the Kabuki Warriors. Do it for Donald Duck and all the minions, says Charlie. Do it for Booker, Mr. T. Do it for Asuka. Do it for Mia Khalifa, says Peter. Do it for... Oh, headed out clear. Up in the air. Do it for Sushi. Do it for Origami. Is it a corner? It looks like it's going to be a corner for Croatia. Not looking good. Don't want to be conceding a corner with only 9 minutes of extra time left on the clock. Nerves are getting a bit frayed. Here we go, Croatia whipping the ball in. Into the middle. Keeper comes out. Ooh, it's all right. I woke up to see we're in extra time, said Sticky Buds. Do it for Mel, who had Japan 2-1 after extra time. That's £10 at 66-1. Oh, my God. Definitely do it for Mel. Definitely do it for Mel. £10 at 66-1. Lovely. Do it for Wrestling Days. Do it for the Great Muta. Here we go. Ball in the middle by Croatia. No one there. Headed clear by Japan. 22nd minute of added on time. Penalties. They're calling. I might even need to start planning for them, you know. Might need to start planning for them. I might need to start getting some penalty text ready. Croatia. Change the font. Don't know what font I want. 8 minutes of extra time remain. What font's this? What font are you? Franklin Gothic. Right. Ball being played in the middle, up in the air, bouncing around, back post. Keeper claims it. I tell you what, he did well to leave that then. Ito trying to get on the ball, but it makes its way back to the goalkeeper. No, all right. Do it for Attack on Titan. Yes. Do it for that. There we go. We're just doing a little bit of work in the background. Getting ready for these penalty kicks. Vasic, ball in the middle. No joy. Do it for the original Iron Chief TV show, says David. Do it for Suzuki Goon. Do it for the AEW Burberry title belt, said Charlie. Do it for Titus World Slide. Do it for green tea, says Ryan. Do it for Yoshi Tatsu, said Wrestle with Andy. Ball goes towards the Japanese keeper. He claims it. Oh man, imagine Japan win it with like a bullet goal. That would be pretty cool. Knocking it back to the middle of the park. Close little game, this one. As we said, close little game. Which way is it going to go? Who wants it? Who's going to take it? Who's going to go through to the quarterfinals to potentially play Brazil? Here's Japan. Edge of the area. Over to the right-hand side. Japan in the middle. Comes to a Croatian player. It is Japan right now that are on the ascendancy. Japan are passing it around. Coming over to the right-hand side. Ball being played forwards. Nice little turn. Edge of the area. Ball coming into the back post. It's headed clear. It's back into the middle, but keeper claims. Drama. High drama. They do look problematic at times. It is true. There we go. Do it for Yokozuna. Do it for Salmon. Do it for Yakitori. Do it for Umaga. Do it for Dolphin Safe Tuna. Very good. Dolphin Safe Tuna. Okay, we've just got a Croatian player down here at the moment. We're into the 26th minute. 26th minute. The exciting thing about penalty kicks, you know, is that two teams take them, but once their 5 are done, if it's the same, then a 6th person has to go in a 7th, and like the whole team could end up taking them. So you never quite know what you're going to get with penalties. The way it works, for those that don't normally watch football, is that both teams will take 5, basically. Obviously, if one team scores 3 and the other miss their first 3, well, that team's won. It's like a best of 5. So if it's a case that after that it's even, then it just comes down to sudden death. Like that team takes 1, then that team takes 1. If that team misses and that team scores, then they've won, the team that scored. So that's the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. It just keeps going on until one team scores and one team misses. That's how penalties continue then. But the first set, the first 5, that is basically a best of 3, or best of 5. If you get 3 and the other team miss their 3, then that team wins. Quite often you see like teams score in their first 2, get in their next ones, then a team will miss, and then it's down to like, will the other team get their final one? Like that's normally how it goes. It's normally sorted within those first 5. But yeah, quite often you can get out of those and then go into the sudden death ones. Ball is up in the air, bouncing down. Cleared by Japan. Do it for the subtle art of unagi. Do it for seaweed on the outside of sushi. Do it for Tamagotchis. Do it for the bloodline. Yokozuna wasn't Japanese. Do it for him anyway, James. Do it for him anyway. Ball is over on the left-hand side into the middle. Croatia are looking. Imagine if Croatia scored now in the 29th minute of extra time. Do it for the Samurais. Do it for the Sesame Daddy. Do it for Gareth Southgate. Ball coming over to the back post there. Looking. Croatia are looking. Up in the air. 29th minute. The Japanese player goes down. We're seeing a lot of players going down. Do it for Ultraman. Do it for Booker T's shampoo. Do it for... I think we've read out all of them, haven't we? Do it for the Earth. My favourite is still Yahuga's Do It for Dolphin Safe Tuna. I think that's awesome. Do it for Greta Thunberg. Do it for her. Do it for her. She is our last hope for this planet. Do it for Greta Thunberg. Do it for Meghan Markle. Do it for the controversial Netflix documentary that's coming out. Throw into Croatia. Do it for Uncle Howdy. Do it for Jamie Hater. Do it for Mr. Mount Fuji. Mr. Fuji. Do it for Mount Fuji. Do it for Pete Mitchell Maverick. Ball going up in the air to the back post. Comes down. Chested down. Do it for silence. Do it for expressionism. Do it for Art Nouveau. Don't think any of these things are Japanese. I've just started to move on to concepts rather than people. Here's Croatia again, edge of the area. Gonna get a shot. Oh, and it's wide. There's only one added minute, and that was a great opportunity. Do it for Neptune. Do it for Jupiter. Do it for Venus. Do it for Scripps, says Joe. Do it for Pokemon. Do it for anime. Do it for the Fiend. I'm sorry, I'm drunk again, says Around the Outside. Do it for Drunk Around the Outside. Do it for Wrestle with Andy. Do it for Lord Tensai. Do it for Toasty Kumquats. Do it for Strawberry Flavoured Pop-Tarts. Do it for taking your library book back late and still not having to pay a penalty. Do it for everyone. Do it for Post-it notes. Do it for whale blubber. Here we go. Penalties. It's time for penalties. Time for penalties. Everything changes when we get to penalties. We get rid of the text. We get rid of the goal scorers. We strip this bottom box. Time for penalties. Time for penalties. Do you know, it'd be nice. It'd be nice, actually, if I had little crosses and little ticks. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? You know, the odd little crosses and the odd little ticks. I wonder if I can find some. Cross PNG. They're talking about maybe, they're talking about, they said it would have been sensible if we had cutting out the half an hour. I'm really split on it because, like, I sort of feel like it makes sense. People at home will have wanted it to go to penalties, so maybe just go straight to penalties. Yeah, it is true. I mean, you do want it to go to penalties, but you don't want it to go to penalties if you're flipping English and it's your team that are taking part. Trying to get like some nice crosses and ticks to show when a penalty is scored. Boom. There we go. Do it for the vast array of Kit Kat flavors. I feel like this was probably a big mistake on my part, to be honest, but you live and learn, don't you? That's going to look nice, though. I think we can agree that I'm reaching for greatness here. I'm reaching for greatness. Might not work out for me, but I am attempting to be great. And that should be applauded, to be honest. Right, here we go then. Do it for the headphone wires that you just can't untie, said Charlie. Some people don't get the joke. Do it for whoever will be our Prime Minister next week, says James. Yes. Do it for Santa. Do it for telling a child they're going to get a bike and then giving them a lump of coal instead. Look, there's lots of tension in the stands. Do it for Harambe. Do it for the superstars Liverpool had last year. They won 2 cups. Taka Minamino was top scorer. Do it for all of them, Steve. Redemption, shout out to you. Do it for the left and right Twix. You could have. What I love about that is you could have just gone do it for Twix, but you've actually called out both of the Twixes, and that's great. That's great. Do it for Kinder Surprise. Here we go then. Japan are going to take it first. I've already decided they're going to score this, guys. They're going to score this first one. They better score it because I've got the tick lined up. I'm just not ready if they miss. So, referee just having a word with both goalkeepers. So it is, if you are joining us, penalty shootout between Croatia and Japan. Penalty shootout. Nerves are frayed. Here we go. First Japanese penalty. Japan going first. Here we go. Penalty shootout. About to begin. Japan. Save! It's a save. It's a save. It's a save. Heartbreak. Heartbreak. Not a good penalty. It's saved. It's missed. Heartbreak. Heartbreak. It's saved. First one is missed. Coming up next. Croatia. Score. I like the view. We're right behind them for the view of the penalty. We're right behind the striker. So early advantage for Croatia. Early advantage. It means that Japan are playing catch up. So Japan have got their next penalty. Here we go. Japan. Save! This is bad now. This is really bad. This is really bad. It's really going sour for Japan. Their first 2 have been saved. Oh dear, Japan. We've been here. As England fans, we've been here. We know what this is flipping like. We know what this is like. Next up then is Croatia. And it's straight down the middle. They're dominating this. They're dominating it. It's 2-0 Croatia. If Japan miss and Croatia score, Croatia win. If Japan miss and Croatia score, yeah. If Japan miss and Croatia score, they win. He's got to score this. But he doesn't have to, but he really does need to. Here we go, stepping up, and it's finally Japan showed that they can actually score a penalty. They get the third one in. Yeah, they could really do with their keeper making a save here. They could really do with him making a save. He's going to need to... I think if this one goes in, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. But it's close. If this goes in, then it's close to being over. If this goes in, Japan would have to score there next. Here we go. Comes up. Oh, he hits the post! Oh, hello. Hello. So it's a miss there by Croatia. Steps up. Hits off the post. Okay, nice. There's only one in this. Japan don't have to score this, but they really could do with scoring this. Japan. Oh, my God. It's saved. It's saved. Oh, they just... Now they can win it. Now they can win it. If Croatia score, they win. If Croatia score, they win. If Croatia score this, they win the penalty shootout. Just awful by Japan. Here we go. If they score this, they're through. Steps up, and it's in. Croatia win. Croatia win. You know all those things that we wanted them to do it for? They didn't do it. Japan are out. Sayonara. Sayonara. Japan are horrible at penalties. They are, aren't they? This is why it's Japan and not Japan, wrote, well done. That's good. It is why it's Japan and not Japan. Horrible penalties. Horrible. That is bad from Japan, said Taruka. Well, they'll know it's bad. They'll know that they've let themselves down there, because they've had to battle so hard to get through that game, and then they get to penalties, and for the penalties to be that poor, that's disappointing. It's obvious Japan hates Godzilla. Well, at least it was a fight. Well done, Japan. Well, it is true. They didn't get, like, blown away in the game. That's a good way of looking at it. What is it about Croatia? Yeah, Croatia go through. So it's not the last we'll be seeing of Modric. There we go. Well done. It is a win. I'm just going to keep messing around with this at the bottom. I'm trying to get them a little bit bigger for future. Okay, so there's another spot kick. Then we can have them looking quite nice. So, yeah, we're done. There we go. Right, I'm going to go off and start setting up the next stream. We've got, obviously, Brazil coming up next. Could Brazil go out? We're still waiting for an upset. We haven't had one yet. Could Brazil go out? That's going to be our next game, and it starts in 15 minutes. That's when we'll start our coverage. So thanks a lot to everyone that joined us. Heartbreak for Japan. It wasn't to be. But I will see you all in a few minutes' time for Brazil. Bye for now.